And with that, the 2025 Honolulu Marathon kicked off. The 26.2-mile race started at about an hour ago at 5 a.m. near Ala Moana Beach Park. A record-setting number of runners were expected to lace them up, to brave the distance, and some less than favorable weather. All right, let's take a live look now from across the course. We're following the male and female lead packs, which include some awe-inspiring elite runners from around the world racing to cross the finish line at Kapiolani Park. And we're also on the course following the athletes from our communities who are celebrating the culmination of months of training this morning. But here's a look at what greeted all of the athletes before the race this morning: a soggy start line. Despite some tough conditions, thousands of runners still are toughing it out. In just a few moments, we'll take a look at what they can expect in the coming hours. And thank you so much for joining us here on Hawaii News Now Sunrise, the proud home of live coverage of the 2025 Honolulu Marathon. I'm Annalisa Burgos. Let's take a look at the course that all those amazing athletes are taking on today. Now, runners towed the start line an hour ago in Ala Moana before heading up toward Aloha Tower. Then after a tour of downtown, the course heads through Waikiki, Kapiolani Park, and around Diamond Head. Runners will then head through Kahala before a long Hawaii Kai out and back, mostly on Kalani'anaole Highway, and that sends the route back to Diamond Head and the roaring crowds at the finish line in Kapiolani Park. But a challenging course is only part of the story this morning, as some wet weather is playing a big role. Let's check in now with Drew Davis. He's keeping track of the rain and how it's impacting course conditions. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, Annalisa, and aloha to everybody at home. We've been watching a very soggy start to the race. A flood watch is currently up for the western half of the state. I want to give you a quick look at our first alert radar and satellite. As you can see, this band of moisture that we've been tracking due to a cold front that's been moving over the western half of the state brought a few showers at the beginning of the race over the eastern portions of Oahu. Earlier, this band that you can see that is over the eastern portions of the island moved over the entirety of the island, bringing some heavy showers. We're also watching for some more moisture just upstream that's going to continue moving down closer to the island chain. So even though we're seeing a little bit of a breakout there, we are going to be seeing more moisture going forward. A quick look, we still have that flood watch that started late last night for Kauai, Oahu, and Ni'ihau, and will last through late Monday night. A quick look at your first alert futurecast. The moisture is going to be sticking around, not through today, also through Monday. The heaviest rainfall could fall early Monday morning. That's it for us here on the First Alert Weather Center. I'm going to send it over to Billy V and Jelani.
Hey, good morning, Drew. Yes, we are right here outside of Kahalama, and we just seen the female front runners make their way past here. Right, Billy?
Yeah, Kyle Chinen was in the back of the truck. We'll hear from him coming up a little bit later on, but we're here because this is probably in the course, probably part of the most enthusiastic crowd, and it's growing. Now, we got kind of dumped on here at 4 a.m., so that kind of delayed everybody coming, but we're expecting more to be here in this area as we go throughout the race.
Yes, it's so exciting hearing the bells ringing and people cheering on the runners as they pass by. We'll be following this all morning, and we'll be out here talking to the people at the water stations and, of course, the spectators.
Okay, once again, the JAL Honolulu Marathon underway from here. Let's go down to Kapiolani Park and Steve Uehara.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, thanks, Billy. Thanks, Jelani. We're here, as always, with our good friend Tony Revis, award-winning broadcaster and writer and marathon junkie, dare I say.
Probably so.
Are you ready for this again, Tony?
No, we've been scribbling notes madly as our spotters out on the course are dealing with the elements. We have sort of a protection tent down here at Kapiolani Park.
A little bit.
Our chairs are a little soaked, so we're not sitting down today.
So we should start with those elements, right?
No, the elements are that halfway down, Kalakaua today at the Duke statue, I ran into the big rain and had to put my
your parka
on.
Yeah.
But, it's on again and off again. Out on the women's lead vehicle past 14 kilometers, out on the highway, there was a big, heavy rainstorm, and then it stopped. And it's been that way here at the finish line, too. On again, off again.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times we think about the rain and what that might do. You said for the most part it's the wind that's pushing you back as you go along, making you stand up a little bit straighter while you're doing this run.
It's interesting. In the first 5 kilometers, the first 3 miles of the women's race, they were on 2 minutes and 34-second marathon pace. And then the wind changed around, or they made a turn. The next thing you know, they're on 2:31 pace, 3 minutes faster.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they haven't changed the nature of how hard they're running. It's just the conditions they're running through.
Yeah, those conditions are being a big player in this race so far. How about the other big names? The field, we said it over and over again. This is one of the best, most stacked fields that we've had in a very long time.
Well, both defending champions are back. Yamane Haile Selassie from Eritrea is back to defend his title. And Cynthia Limo is trying to be a three-peater. We haven't had one of those in a long period of time. She's the two-time defending champion, but she's got, just like Yamane does, a very strong field that she has to put down if she wants that title again in 2025.
You know, we always talk about Ethiopians and Kenyans. For the most part, there's only one Kenyan, there's no Ethiopian, 3 Eritreans. What does that say about the field? Is this a trend that we're going to see a lot more of?
Well, Eritrea used to be a northern state of Ethiopia, and then, of course, they had a border war and they had their independence, and so very much the same, same kind of people, the same kind of runners. They're the great athletes, and we have 4 Eritreans in the race. There's still 2 of them very much in the hunt, Yemene and Sege Weldabanos, who was a former Hapalua half marathon champion here in Honolulu. So with 2 of these guys have history here on the streets of Honolulu, and they're also training partners. They train together. So there's a real advantage to having your training partners in the lead pack. We got 4 men in the lead pack right now and 5 women in the lead pack on the women's side.
Okay, in a little bit, we'll talk a little bit more about the experience and how much that plays into this, because the conditions are a lot different here than they are in other marathons. But right now, we want to talk more about those elements and the factor that that's going to contribute. So, Guy Hagi, what is going on with this weather this morning?
Yeah, Jim, we're in the truck that's following the lead men. We're into Aina Haina now, and I'm with the president of the Honolulu Marathon, Dr. Sports, Jim Barrel. Jim, kind of a little bit of a soggy start, but kind of that's what we're expecting. That's what you were expecting as well.
Yeah, it's marathoning, it's running, and we can't control it, but no one ever said it was going to be easy to run a marathon, so it opened up pretty good right at about 4 o'clock. But right at the start, it pretty much stopped, and we've had a pretty good ride out here in the truck. It's not the best conditions, but the boys are running fast, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and it sure beats the heat. Doesn't look like we got a pack of 5 right now, right? And we're talking to you earlier, and you're saying that it's really a race right now, because these guys really want to win it.
Yeah, there's 4 people up there, including our defending champion, Yamane Haile Selassie. And everyone looks good. The lead pack all looks good. They've been alternating the lead. They just came through the half at 1:06.29, so we're just slightly under 2:13 pace, which I think is amazing under these conditions. I expected the winning time to go slower, but now that there's 4 guys together, at some point they're going to race, and somebody's going to take off and try to win this. So we have a heck of a race going on out here under pretty tough conditions.
Yeah, the good thing is that even though it's wet, the winds have not been much of an issue, and the winds normally, if it's a trade wind one, we'll be heading a headwind right now, but they kind of got a tailwind right now.
Yeah, they're running a tailwind out here, and again, 4 guys together. We haven't seen it that often in Honolulu, even this deep into the race. So it's setting up to be an incredible finish there in Kapilani Park, and I think for the thousands of other runners, we had 43,000 entries. I think the conditions will be okay, because I don't think we're going to have much of the heat-related stuff.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you had 10,000 runners just in the 10K alone, right?
Right, and I'm sure they're coming into the park right now. It's an amazing thing. The start was beautiful. The fireworks were for 20 minutes, and Guy, thanks for bringing some pretty good weather for us, at least at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I did what I could. Anyway, we're following the lead men. Kyle Chinin is following the lead women. We'll toss it over to Kyle right now.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? Aloha. We are now going through Kalanianaole Highway, just passing Kalani High School, now heading into Hawaii Kai. I'm joined by Toya Revis, and we've been following the female leads all morning. What have you seen so far?
Well, first I wanted to say, coming up around 12K, we experienced some heavy rain. And then Callie, which was wonderful to see, she's a Great Britain who now trains in Flagstaff with her husband. She took it out a little bit coming up the hill, but then settled down. So now all ladies are together. Last year we had 4 ladies who were towards the end of the race, so it looks like this year we have some all 5 are great contenders, so we're looking forward to a great race. Right now the weather's perfect, there's no wind, which is shocking,
Yeah, and you mentioned the pack of five, and there really hasn't been anyone really kind of taking the lead or moving out of this pack so far through the race. Talk a little bit about just kind of the pack, and there's no rabbit this year, right?
Right, there's no rabbit. Early on, we did have a high school gentleman who was running. He was sort of in the front of all the women. However, he probably took off at during the 10K. But right now, we have all women are together. Right in the front, we have the two Adidas women. We had Vivian, she's coming up. Eunice, she's on your left in the orange shoes. But all of the ladies are together. Like I said, it's great running weather. It's not humid. It's a little chilly on the vehicle right now. We thought it would be humid, but the pack is still together, and they really look good.
Thanks so much, Toya. And we're going to continue to follow the pack of female elite runners, and we're going to send things back to the finish line with Steve and Tony.
Yeah, Toya, Kyle, thank you. Okay, so we're able to watch this right here. We see packs for both the women and the men. This is still that part of the race where everybody's still together. What are we thinking strategy-wise, and when does the winner start to separate?
Yeah, well, we saw this last year where the way this course lays itself out, where you go around Hawaii Kai 15 miles, 16 miles, then you come like 4 miles back down the highway before you start twisting around the Kahala neighborhood. Nothing is going to happen until you get near the end of the highway. There's no reason with the kind of conditions we're playing in today with on again off rain and wind. And Toya said she didn't feel the wind. Sometimes that means it's a tailwind. You don't feel it because it's pushing you. You're running into a vacuum, so to speak. Right. But the point is, with the quality of the field, they all sort of study who their opponents are. And the nature of this course, just like last year, there's no reason until somebody doesn't go to last like 30K, 18 miles. That's when we should start looking for some moves being made.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about the players in this field because, again, it's spectacular and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch going down the stretch. Tony, okay, you ready? Buckle up, baby. It's only getting started right now. Okay, you do your calculations. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Honolulu Marathon coverage on K5. We'll be right back. Good job, Tony. Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I was
Welcome back to Sunrise and our live coverage of the 2025 Honolulu Marathon. The athletes are into the second hour of their run now, and they were forced to prepare for some wet weather. Let's get the latest from Drew Davis. He's monitoring the conditions this morning. Hey, Drew.
Hey, good morning, Annalisa. Aloha to everybody watching at home. I want to give you a quick look at our first alert radar and satellite. Again, the first round of rainfall, the heaviest rainfall that we've seen out there, has moved past Oahu. Let's take a look at now on our radar imagery. You can see the main band of moisture right now is currently in between Molokai and Oahu. We're starting to see a few other showers that are just upstream of the island of Oahu that are going to continue moving closer to us as we're going forward. However, this isn't going to be a wall of water like the first one. It's going to be relatively scattered rainfall that could continue to impact the event going forward. Some things that we saw earlier this morning, a few lightning strikes near Oahu. We could still see isolated thunderstorms earlier or throughout the rest of this rainfall event this afternoon and also into tomorrow morning. The timeline again being Sunday into Monday. And a quick look at the rainfall totals yesterday. A lot of the rainfall from this front fell over Kauai late last night. We're going to continue to see the rainfall totals tick up over Oahu. I'll have a much more in-depth breakdown coming up throughout the rest of the show. But for now, let's check in with Guy with a check of the male leaders out there.
Yeah, we're following the male leaders, and they dropped one, so now it's a pack of 4. What are you seeing? What developments are you seeing?
Well, they have the 4 together. They keep alternating. The fifth is actually has maintained contact and seems to be closing in a little. So we could have a pack of 5 in not too long. Not much wind out here.
Yeah, and that's why they're running pretty good. They're running pretty good. The pace is pretty quick.
Yeah, this looks like this group's going to stay together for quite a while here.
Projected finish time?
I think we're looking at it somewhere in the 2:12 to 2:13 range at this point.
Yeah.
Because at some point they're going to have to pick it up unless they decide, you know what, we're comfortable with what we're doing and we're just going to get into the park and have a little sprint in. Mm-hmm. But I think at some point on the highway there's going to be some movement. Yeah.
All right, we got James McCurdy. He's a coach to some of the guys in the lead pack. James, what are you looking at? What are you seeing? Because you see things that most spectators don't see.
Well, I'm looking at their body position, their body composure. They look like they're running very patiently. Patrick Ketter just moved into the lead, but he doesn't look like he's straining to do it. Yamane, the defending champion, he's very calm and controlled, and I love that Tesfu, who was in 5th, is slowly getting his way back up to that front pack. They all look really, really strong right now.
Are we setting ourselves up for a sprint finish here?
I think so. I think they're all going to want to be patient, and they all want to win this race. I mean, we got a $26,000 gold medal on the line here, so they all want to do the best they can to get that win, to get that victory. But we have 4 men that are teammates. So they're working together, but they're also working against each other.
Okay, so bragging rights coming up. All right, things are looking really good on the men. Let's go check in on the women's leaders. Kyle Chinen, what's going on out there?
Hey, how's it going, Guy? And hello, everyone. Coming to you from the course. We are still on Kalanianaole Highway following the female elite runners, joined again by Toya Rivas. And talk to me about, we talked about it earlier in the show. It's a group of 5 right now. No one really, straying away from the pack. Talk about what we've been seeing so far.
Well, what we've been seeing right now, we went through a little bit of heavy rain early on, like I said. Right now, the weather is perfection, no wind, no rain. Now we see Callie, who's to my right, Callie Thackeray. She's loves hills, so she was pushing a little bit just a few minutes ago, but now she's back with the pack. We have a pacer now joined us. He was pacing, his name is John, bib 9. He was pacing the men, and now he's in front pacing the women. We just had a stop right now by the Ethiopian, Sentayu F4. She just stopped to walk, so that's kind of the biggest thing that just happened when you went to us. The rest of the women are still together, just following this lovely pacer that we that just joined us.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about some of the other athletes in this group right now, and kind of a little bit of background on this cluster of runners.
Yeah, Vivian, she's in the center. She's wearing the Adidas kit. She's from E10. And she does not train with Cynthia, but she's really, really just kind of pushing but staying with the group. And then we also have Let me see if we have Eunice. She's in the orange shoes. She's kind of fallen back a little bit. Vivian, she's kind of pushing it a little bit early on, but she's someone she's from Bahrain, but she's training in Flagstaff. Right now, we have, I'm just trying to see, I'm sorry, it was so dark. Right now, all the girls are together. We have the Pacers still out front and nothing else to report as far as weather or anything. Everyone looks really good, except the big news is that Sentayu looks like she dropped out.
Thank you so much, Toya. And yes, we're going to continue to follow the pack here on Kalanianaole Highway here, getting into the Hawaii Kai area. But for now, we're going to send things over to the finish line with Steve and Tony.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, as we look, we see both of the defending champs are still in, Yamane and Cynthia. But let's talk about the men really quickly, because within that group of four, there's still the three Eritreans, very familiar with one another. And an interesting fact, they're all here on asylum.
They're here on asylum. Tesfa Tewalde has already been approved for asylum. The others are awaiting the outcome of their process. It takes somewhere between 3.5 and 6 years to be approved for asylum. But they're all they're listed as being from Eritrea, but essentially right now they're nationless. But they're running for their family and their children back home. Amani Messel, who is 35 years old, is single, but the other three Eritreans are married with children, haven't seen their family in years. So when you're out here running professionally, they're running for much more than just themselves. They're running for something much deeper, survivor for their families, because it could be very dangerous back home. So they're in Flagstaff 3 nights a week. They drive DoorDash. They deliver meals to people. And because of that, Friday and Saturday night being the busiest nights for DoorDash, they take Sunday off from running. So they put all their training, 100 to 115 miles per week of training, into 6 weeks, into 6 days a week.
Right, which goes back to something that we said from the very start when we first covered this, was that, number one, they're doing this for so much more than just the glory of winning a race. They're doing this to go back home. And the money in this marathon is life-changing for them. They go back home and they're able to support not only their families, but also give back to their communities, start businesses. It completely changes the outlook for these men and these women.
I told you a story earlier on. Back in 1994 at the New York City Marathon, Herman Silva won the first of his 2 New York City Marathon titles for Mexico. Herman brought electricity to his home village in Mexico with that victory. That's what these sort of victories mean to people from the developing nations of the world. Like you say, it is life-changing. So when times get tough in the marathon, which they will, the more they have to draw upon psychologically, emotionally, the better their chances are of getting to this finish line in first place.
That's right. How about something, because we always talk about the elite runners, and rightfully so. That's what makes this so much more exciting. But also 42,962 people are competing in one of the races, whether it's this, the 10K, the Merry Mile. Are we on an uptick for running in general?
Yes, there's a second running boom, as they're calling it, going on right now. A lot of it's being driven by Gen Z. Young people who have been brought up with smartphones and living virtual communities, essentially, online all the time. They're looking for that human connection. And running clubs are springing up all over the country, and runners have something about them. They're dedicated, they're committed, they're usually very good people, and it's a place to meet people in a positive setting. And so they need to run races too, and so racers are just bulging with new fields.
Okay, we got a couple more seconds here, just because we saw the wheelchair finisher just come past the finish line. What can you tell us about that field? And normally we don't see the woman come in before the man.
Well, we have Susanna Scaroni from the University of Illinois program, the best training program in the world, began after World War II. It's just fabulous in Champaign-Urbana. But Susanna is the 2-time Boston, 2-time Chicago, 2 times New York, 2 times Sydney. She's the reigning Boston, Chicago, New York, and Sydney marathon champion. She's the best in the world, and she's here in Honolulu, and she's going to just destroy everybody.
Yeah, she pretty much smoked everybody. Okay, we're going to get to that in a second. Right now, they're going to take a quick break, I believe, and we'll be right back with more coverage from the Honolulu Marathon, live at the finish line. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Sunrise's special live coverage of the 2025 Honolulu Marathon. Now, as the elite fields race towards the finish line, let's take a look at the current course records that they're striving for. On the men's side, Kenya dominates the charts with the top 10 times in the race's history. Titus Ikiru has the top time with 2 hours, 7 minutes, 59 seconds, set back in 2019. And Kenya also has the fastest time for the women, with Bridget Koskai's blazing 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 15 seconds in 2017's race. And that's over 5 minutes clear of second and third place, which are held by Russia's Lubov Denisova and Lubov Morgunova, respectively. And we're expecting our first athletes to finish in under an hour now. Let's get to the finish line and check in with Steve and Tony. Hey, guys.
Yeah, and Annalisa, thank you. I just want to apologize. That was not the wheelchair winner. That was the hand crank winner. The wheelchair race is still going on. At this point, though, it doesn't look like Susanna is going to overtake the male finisher. But still, it's going to be remarkable to see what she is able to do on this course.
She should set the course record on the women's wheelchair side. I mean, she's the best in the world right now. And so it's great to see someone of that level, four-time Paralympian, show up. Years ago, actually, in the Honolulu Marathon early stages, the wheelchair race was so loaded, they ran it on Saturday.
Oh.
A separate day. And then the marathon went off on Sunday.
Yeah.
It had to do with how well they could police the course back in those days. And there used to be like 50 or 60 wheelchairs used to be here at the Honolulu Marathon.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the runners. We saw that pack of women. At this point, we're going to get to Kyle in a little bit, but there were about 7 women stacked together. We've said it over and over. This elite field is incredibly competitive, even more so than recent years. We've never had a winner either on the men's side or the female side from Great Britain. Right. And that could actually happen this year, right?
Well, Callie Hogger Thackeray, 32 years of age, from Great Britain, the second fastest British woman in history behind the great Paula Radcliffe. She ran 2 hours and 21 minutes in the Berlin Marathon in 2024. She was 6th at the Boston Marathon this year, but she also dropped out in Chicago in October. But she bounced back. I was in Miramar, Florida a month ago, as was Callie at a 10K road race, and she was right there at the finish, lost in a kick, but she ran 31 minutes and 30 seconds, so that showed me she's on form. She loves to compete. She's run 16 races so far in 2025, and so she's anxious to come back. She won the Hapalua Half last year, so she's not unused to conditions in Honolulu, but she's used to them in April, not December. We'll see how that plays out.
And really quickly, can we talk about what a difference that makes? I mean, the humidity is different. It's more hilly than some of the other marathons. How much more of a factor is it that you've been on this before, you've seen what this throws at you, and you've fought all your way, and you're going to do it again? Yes.
So much of the sport has now been locked into this time trialing and how fast they can go. Honolulu Marathon is very much like an Olympic or World Championships, like Boston, like New York City, the other hilly courses of the world, where time is what it took, but the victory is what is important. You're here to win this race or get on the podium, as they say, the top 3 places. You're not going to run a personal best time on this course in these conditions. So you have racers here, not runners, you have racers. You have to think on your feet. And I always say, because the blood is in your legs making you go fast, it's not necessarily in your head. So when you need your wits about you most, you have fewer of them at your disposal. Because you can look at your watch and see that split time on your watch and you know what all those numbers mean, but because lower octane fuel are in your head, you can't make sense of them. So it's when you need to think more critically, it's difficult in the latter stages of a marathon.
All right, so let's get to those racers and to 2 gentlemen who always have their wits about them, Dr. Bear Hall and Guy Huggy. What's up, guys?
I am with Jim Bear Hall, but I'm going to talk to James McCurdy now. He's a coach for some of these guys that are in the lead. And James, something just dramatic just happened. The pack really split up.
Most of this race has been pretty strategic, and by that I mean it's been pretty measured and controlled in their ability. But right around that 85-minute mark, 87-minute mark, the 2 front runners, Yamane and Segai, decided that they just wanted to push the pace, and they've really broken apart. They've got about a 7-second lead on 3rd place right now, Patrick Ketter.
Now, is that insurmountable? Obviously not, but still, for them to give up that kind of lead at this point, that really makes a statement.
Oh, no, it's not insurmountable at all. They have to keep the pressure on. If they want to win this race, they have to keep the pressure on the rest of the time.
Now, Jim, we got a lot of drama at the front, but things are going crazy. But let's go to the women right now because there's a lot going on. Steve, what's going on?
131. Have the wheelchair winner. We're still waiting to figure out who exactly this is. At this point, there's a big crowd around him. Obviously, he looks exhausted, and he came out victorious from a stacked field. Tony, who do we have?
I do not know. I see not the number, and I will have to figure it out.
Okay. We have Casey Lunn, who is actually headed on over along with the translator to speak to the gentleman.
Yeah, they're going to have some pictures, so when that becomes figured out.
Yeah.
They will do that, but at least he beat Susanna Scaroni. Let's go to Casey right now with that interview.
The finisher, beat up the males, but we have a friend of mine, Kota Hinue. He is the winner from last year's Honolulu Marathon, and of course I've got my dear friend, my translator. I'm going to scoot over here. Kota, congratulations!
Thank you very much.
Good to see you again. Can I just ask you, how it feels? First of all, easy question, to win this marathon 2 years in a row.
連続で優勝なさって今のご感想いかがですか？そうですね、この歴史のある大会で2連覇できてとても嬉しいです。I'm very happy to win this historical event. I'm very proud.
Any challenges on this race with the rain? I mean, you know this course. What was difficult starting out? It was pretty wet.
コースよくご存知だと思いますけど、このコンディションの中は今日はどうでしたでしょうか？そうですね、結構スタート前は雨降ったりとか風が強くて、まあちょっとどうなることかなと思ったんですけど、やはりペースだけは守って走ろうと思いました。Before the start, he was worried about the weather condition, obviously. But once he started, he was just trying to maintain the pace, and that's how he did it.
Kota, any post-race plans now that your training is done and you can relax? What are you doing for the rest of the day?
もう今日この後はどんなされるご予定ですか？そうですね。もうゆっくりお風呂に浸かってマッサージして、はい、ゆっくりしたいと思います。
I heard that.
Yeah, I want to take a hot bath and get the massage.
Massage, well deserved. Kota, congratulations, our 2025 Honolulu Marathon wheelchair winner. Thank you so much. Again, we are just starting our coverage here. And again, we are expecting Suzanne, I believe, soon. Again, earlier indications were that she was going to cross the finish line first. She's an absolute amazing athlete, won the Boston Marathon, the New York Marathon. So there's a lot of excitement still ahead. We're going to be checking in with the elite women, the elite males. We've got a lot to talk about this morning, and we're just grateful we're kind of staying dry at this point. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
with Tony Revis. I'm Steve Uhara, live at the finish line. We're still waiting for the next wheelchair finisher. But in the meantime, let's talk about some movement, Tony, at the front of those packs. The two Eritreans, specifically on the male side, they're starting to pull away.
Well, these are training partners, so they know each other intimately. They live together. They train together. I mean, there are no secrets out there. Now, there's a thing called the given day. Maybe it's your day, maybe it's not your day. But Sergey has been leading in training.
Yeah.
He's been the man. And yet Yemene's the defending champion. And yet Sergey has won the Hapalua half. So they both have experience here in Honolulu. Yemene's won the marathon, but he had sort of a down period earlier this year, some health issues. Sergey is fresher, I believe. He's in good form. And he has the confidence of knowing that during the build-up period, in that phase of training, he's been the man. He's been leading.
Right.
So in some ways, there's not a definitive alpha among the two, so we can expect a real shootout here in these final miles.
And this is my favorite part about talking to you with Tony. It's not just that you followed all the races. It's not like you're calculating time. You're doing that. You also talk about the gamesmanship. You talk about the competitive spirit and what exactly happens. What between those two, and you've mentioned who's the alpha, who's not, but at the same time, how much strategy goes into that? The fact that they know each other's tendencies and they know what they like to do.
Well, somebody's going to have to make a move.
Right.
You know, somebody, I mean, you put for those who drive manual shift, does anyone still drive a manual car? But anyway, you put your clutch in as a runner, and then you drop down a gear and you push.
Right.
And you run and you change gears. At some point, they did that to get rid of Patrick Ketter, the Kenyan. Now it's just these two. Now, one of these guys is going to feel good when he senses that the other guy doesn't feel good, then he's going to make a break. And then we're going to calculate how long does it take the guy to answer that, or does he answer at all? And right now, as long as they stay together, they're hiding their cards. This is Texas Hold'em at 5 minute per mile pace.
Yeah, and Tony, we're just in for the ride. We're just going to watch it and see how it plays out. And it's so good to have you along with us.
It's exciting.
So we mentioned those two groups. We mentioned the men. I believe we're going to go to the women now with Kyle and Toya.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? We are in Hawaii Kai now, about to make the turn back towards Diamond Head. I'm joined by Toya Revis, and we just got some movement in a group that was pretty much together for the entire race, a group of four.
Yes, kind of a surprise move is Vivian. She was up front, kind of, just settling the pace in the lead. We just saw that right before 17 miles, she just fell off the pace. She's pretty far back, I would say about 100 meters back and growing. So does not look good for her. We'll see if she can rally back. The other ladies are all still together. Kind of surprising that Vivian, because she looked so good throughout the entire race. Right now, I'll concentrate more on Cynthia Limo. She was always up front with Vivian most of the race. They were always kind of pushing. Right now, Cynthia's right behind the pacer. We love this pacer because it looks like the ladies are just really taking advantage of having someone up front. For the weather, again, no wind, which is shocking. It's pretty cool, kind of nice weather for a marathon right now, and there's no rain. But the big thing is the gap between Vivian and the other ladies, that's growing. So that's the big thing from out here.
Yeah, and as we make the turn onto Kalanianaole Highway, passing the bay and heading back towards Diamond Head. Now, I want to, we've been talking about, we had Vivian drop out of the pack, but, at some point, the rest of the pack, someone's going to have to make a move. Where in this race is kind of, strategically where they would want to make that move to break away from the pack?
Traditionally, it's usually as we get closer to 23 miles. That really, really kind of opens up the race. We can see who's strong, who's not so strong. Like I said, last year, it was down to the wire towards the end of the race, and it was really exciting. And I said before the race was just starting that this year we had 5 women who are really great, legitimate contenders. So now we're down to a few ladies, but they really look good. Like I said, the pacer is making a big difference. They're just following along with his lead. So far, the ladies look really good. It just started to rain, but the weather is kind of perfect for the rest of the race.
Yeah, and you mentioned there's been some showers that just started. Talk about maybe, it was pretty much clear we'll get to that in just a little bit. For now, we're going to send things back to the finish line where our Casey Lund is standing by.
Casey, just started raining.
We're going to come over here to the finish line because Casey's setting up. We're still waiting for Susanna. We did just have another male finisher for the wheelchair. We'll update you in a second. But based off what we just saw, okay, we talked about the two Eritreans on the men's side and the familiarity and how that's going to play out. A tight group there, but they don't know each other.
No, they don't. But also they have John Ranieri, who is from Flagstaff. He's part of the James McCurdy trained group. He was supposed to pace the men, but the men got a little bit anxious and dropped him. So he went back and helped the women, God bless him. And so now they've got a pacer leading them back down the highway. But those three women do not know one another. They have not raced against one another, certainly not on the streets of Honolulu. And then we're going to, the one that's got the advantage, of course, is Cynthia Limo.
Yes.
A little bit older, but she's a two-time defending champion.
Okay, we're going to get to that in a second. Right now we got Casey Lund, and I believe Suzanne is coming in. Casey?
That is what we are what we're thinking. That's what we are, and it's a little dark, so it's a little hard to tell. So we're gonna have to confirm, but I do believe that is Susanna Scaroni. We gotta wait. I don't want to speculate. It is. She is your female 2025 Honolulu Marathon winner. Now we're going to have to adjust our camera really quickly, and we're going to come talk to Susanna. We're a little busy here at the finish line. This is an athlete that has won the Boston Marathon, the New York Marathon, Chicago, Paralympic athlete. And I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to see once she's getting her pictures taken. She's going to obviously spend a little time with two former Miss Hawaiis. We've got Ali Chu and Julie Chu, my dear friends there. And she's getting all the love and aloha that she deserves. And as soon as they're out of the way, I'm going to pop in there. Oh, she's got a couple more pictures to take. But, this is, again, just her first Honolulu Marathon, by the way. That should be noted. She's obviously an accomplished athlete, but this is her first race here in Hawaii. So we're going to see if we can. Susanna, can I talk to you really quickly? Congratulations, first of all. How are you feeling?
Tired, but very good. Oh my gosh, so happy.
So I got to ask you, I know that you've been New York, Boston, Chicago winner. This is your first race here in Hawaii, right?
Yes.
What was the course like? What sets this marathon apart from others? It's a pretty special race.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. It was so cool. First, I've never done a race in the dark, and that was really fun, actually. I was able to see, which is good. I had a really cool cyclist escort. I think I loved the energy. I love that you could tell you were by the ocean. That's just cool. And lots of happy crowds, even though they were getting soaked.
Absolutely. I talked to Kota, the male winner who came through, and he won last year. But I'm always curious, how much does the rain affect you folks on the track?
Oh, it affects us quite a bit. Fortunately, I'm really fortunate that my hand rings that I use today are coated specifically for rain. So I just planned that, hearing that it's usually rainy, and was doing great out there in the rain.
So I imagine, I got to ask everybody this question. I imagine that you have been kind of focused on the race up until today, but what are your Hawaii checklist things you got to do before you leave? How long are you going to be here, by the way?
I will leave tomorrow, but I've been here for the week with my family. My mom, my sister, and her husband and family are here. We actually got to do some of my bucket list. Like, I saw turtles.
Okay.
Do some nice swimming in the water. Saw some surf competition, and I'm not sure what else you could ask for.
No, of course. I mean, it's not a bad place to run a race. Anything else that you kind of think is special about this event, the folks that put it on? I mean, this is a really big deal for our community.
Yeah, I think the culture here in Honolulu was my favorite takeaway. I felt it was very special to, have the island kind of take on gratitude with mahalo and aloha itself. Those words, I think, are so meaningful, and I loved that piece of being here.
Very good. Susanna Scaroni, thank you so much, and congratulations. I hope you get some well-deserved rest. And again, congratulations, mahalo, for being here with us for this very special, record-breaking running of the 2025 Honolulu Marathon. We are going to send things back over to Steve and Tony.
Right now, there are dozens of runners, or dozens of supporters out here at Kahala Mall. As the runners are making their way here, I'm actually joined right now by JD. Look at her signs. Your signs are actually putting a smile on people's faces, huh?
Yeah, everyone's been laughing, and this is our team, Not Fast But Furious.
Awesome, and you are actually here supporting a whole crew, right?
Yeah, we have a whole team, like maybe 8 people. Yeah.
And how early did you get up to be here this morning?
I woke up at 3 in the morning and we were here we dropped our friends off at 4 and then we were here by 5. Yeah.
How are you feeling? I mean, like you said, you've been here all morning, just seeing like the front runners and the people on the wheelchairs make their way here.
It's pretty emotional. I admit I kind of teared up a bit when the first runners came in and stuff, yeah. But the vibe is so energetic that I was so tired, but I couldn't sleep, yeah.
This is your first time watching the marathon?
No, this is my second time, yeah.
All right, anything you want to say to the runners?
Go runners, go!
Well, like I mentioned, there are so many supporters out here, and I actually got to speak to a family that has 3 generations of runners taking part in the Honolulu Marathon.
Unique experience for us. 3 generations will be running. Last time we did that was in 2017. We ran the Phoenix Half Marathon with my grandson, and my son ran the Phoenix Full Marathon.
The last time 72-year-old Wesley Siguratan of Molokai ran in the Honolulu Marathon was in 1979.
But that was a very great experience for me and something I'll never forget. It's the first one, and I know it was kind of easy for me at that age.
46 years later, Wesley, his son Donovan, who's in Arizona,
5 miles on my 10-mile run. So I'm turning around, heading back home, feeling good and enjoying this sunrise. So beautiful. Let's go.
and granddaughter Kamale, who lives in Laie,
training run today by Sunset Beach,
are gearing up to pound Oahu's pavements.
When I first, saw that it was on the same weekend that we were going to be on Oahu, I thought, oh, this would be really neat to run it to honor my dad when he first did his marathon. I told my dad, and then a week later he was like, he said, I should train for it and do it with you. And I thought he was joking, but he was serious. And then he got my daughter involved.
and then he calls me up and he goes, hey, what excuse do you have, huh? Your dad's doing it, your old man's doing it, your papa, and what excuse do you have? You're 23. And I'm going, because I was not a runner, at all. But he's in his 70s and he's doing it, so I just thought, you know what? Yeah, I gotta do it.
I just challenging my son, see if he can beat my time. 4:09.
Yeah, it's going down, old man.
The Siguratons are pretty competitive, but the marathon is more than just a fitness challenge for them. Here's a photo of Wesley with his son and daughter Chantel in 2011.
She wasn't a runner either, but she was trying to get fit. And, as we all do, we put on some weight when we get older and just trying to stay fit. But she's since passed. And so now we have my daughter that can fill the void and maybe recreate that picture for us at the finish line.
I'm not gonna lie, no part of me genuinely wanted to run this marathon, but a huge part has been without her here, what can still connect us, And so doing this training with them, even though we make jokes and stuff, it's been really unifying, and I can feel her spirit with us as we run together. It's been super special.
Just excited to be able to get together and be able to run this race together. Just excited about that.
The last time they were all together was a year and a half ago, so this will be a sweet reunion for the Siguratons. Jolani Martinez, Hawaii News Now.
Lonnie, and cheering them on as well as all the other runners out there. We'll be right back with more live coverage of the Honolulu Marathon, and we did already see the winners from both wheelchair races. All right, taking a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. A live look now from the course as we follow both the male and female elite field. It's about crunch time for the fastest runners as they approach the home stretch into Kapiolani Park. Let's get right to Guy Hagi and Jim Barhal. They are with the male leaders.
The photo's great. You know, the sunrise of the clouds.
As you can see, Annalisa, there's a big gap now between number 1 and number 2. In fact, James McCurdy, who's the coach for this lead runner, give us a recap of what we've seen. A lot's happened in the last 2 miles.
Over the last 2 to 3 miles, Yamane Haile Selassie has really made a push to take the lead. He's got about a 22, 23-second gap over second and third, but Patrick Ketter and Segai, they are holding strong. Yamane's got to stay on the gas if he's got to win.
Now, was this a plan for him, you think? Because it seemed like he just broke away at one point.
Every one of my guys wanted to come here and race hard to win. Yamane just seems to have the one with the legs today, but he is the defending champion, and he's an Olympian as well.
I was just talking to Jim Barhal. He said that he's basically got to crash in order not to lose it.
He's got to stay on the gas. Anything can happen over these final 19 to 20 minutes, so nothing is set in stone.
Oh, you got to love that. Now, Jim, you must be so excited because we saw the big pack of runners, not only the lead runners coming in, but the big pack too. So you should be very excited about that about that participation.
That's the fun part of being in the pace car here is we're coming back on the highway and we see all the runners going out and they get very excited to see the leader. It's very exciting for them. And the people that we see are running pretty fast, like 4.5 hours and under. And there's so many people out there. And I think with the cloud cover now and the weather, I think it's going to be a good day for the thousands and thousands of people. I think it's going to be a good day for them to have a great finish.
All right. I think the women are heading for a great finish as well. Let's go to Kyle. We're going to keep that part of the race.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Yeah, we are coming back down Kalanianaole Highway now, and the group has now, we saw it drop to 3 in our last hit, but there was a lot of action that happened in between our 2 hits. I'm joined by Toya Revis, and break down kind of what we saw in the last couple of minutes in miles.
Well, mile 17 is where we saw Vivian drop out, well, not drop out, but just kind of drop back from has dropped out because we can't see behind. And then a little bit at 30K, we had Callie Auger Thackeray. She's to your left, the lady from Great Britain. She had a problem with her special fluids that we have at the table. For some reason, her fluids were not in the right place. She took a few seconds to figure that out, but by then she had a big, kind of a small gap from the other women. But she's rallied back. Now we're down to 3 ladies. We have our pacer. Again, I can't say enough how much that is helping with these ladies. The wind is non-existent, but they just feel so much more comfortable being behind him. Cynthia Limo, she's directly behind the pacer, just kind of in the front. She's in the Adidas kit. She's really pushing the pace. She's the one who's just kind of hard charging, staying right up on the pacer. But we also have Callie as well, and Eunice is just right behind them.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Toya. And we're going to keep you up to date on the female race. And we're going to send things down to the finish line now with Steve and Tony.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Okay, so two very different scenes out there. But you heard Guy talking to James McCurdy. He's a coach. Right. He's saying Yamane needs to finish strong, otherwise who knows what could happen. But that's a coach speaking. At the same time, from your perspective, 20 to 30 seconds, how big is that?
That's very big. I mean, the point is, defending champion, knows the course, knows his condition. He's not making an inopportune move. I mean, he's not a rookie out there. Sege would not have let him go. This is not a plan, I'll fall back and then reel him in later. He was having what they call a bad patch. He could not keep up with them. Now, it could well be that Sege rallies, but he's going to have to rally even more, and Yamane is going to have to fade just a little bit, because once you're in your rhythm and you know the course ahead, and once you get up past Triangle Park at the base of Diamond Head, there's still thousands of people at the 7 and 8 mile mark of this course, and they're going to rally Yamane when he goes by. I mean, they just go nuts when they see the leader. They're not even the third way through the race, and he's got a mile left to go in the whole competition. So that's going to give him extra energy as well. So the downtime where there's no people is in Kahala, where he is right now. That's where he has a chance. If he has a downtime this would be it, but he looks good to me.
Yeah, and going back to something that you said earlier, it's not just that he knows himself, it's not just that he knows his course, he knows his opponent and what he's capable of doing as well. We're going to take a quick break right now, but we're going to wrap things up with the finishers. We're about 16 minutes away, so we'll have that covered for you right here at the Honolulu Marathon on KFOW.
Okay, we're running up now, Kahala, just before Triangle Park and well before the lookout. And James McCurdy, this is your runner, and it looks like it's his race to lose.
Oh, well, I tell you what, Segai, his roommate, is coming up behind him. He's only got 15-second lead right now, and we're going to find out just what happens over these final 10 minutes.
And if Yamane can swing it, though, he'll be the first back-to-back winner in several years.
He'll be the first back-to-back winner since 2010, 2011, but it's not over yet. Segai has the marathon experience that Yamane doesn't have, except Segai, he's got a bit to go, and he's got to work up this hill to get there.
All right. Very dramatic finish. Couldn't ask for any better there, Jim.
No, Segai is still in sight here. Yamane definitely picked it up here as we came down the hill at Triangle Park. It's got this little downhill and then up Diamond Head. I don't think this race is over. But anyways, what an amazing race between these two men here today. They'll be in the park soon, and give them a great welcome when they get there. And I can't believe the sky. Thanks for this weather again, man.
Yeah, I did. I can't take the credit, but
I didn't think I'd see anything in the sky today.
Yeah, it really turned out to be very nice. Now let's see what's happening with the women's race. Kyle, what you looking at?
Hey, how's it going, guy? We are back on Kalanianaole Highway right now as the pack has now dwindled again. So I'm here with Toya Revis. Talk to us about the action that we saw in just a few short miles.
Yes, some more movement here. We're around an hour and 58 seconds. Eunice had dropped back. Now the break is widening. She's about maybe 200, 150 meters, 200 meters back. And now we're down to Callie and Cynthia side by side behind the pacer. Again, they're very, very keen on staying with the pacer. Makes it easier. You feel better. You can just turn your mind off and follow the lead of the pacer. The wind, again, is non-existent. It's cool. Again, really good conditions, and they both look good. I mean, side by side. The only thing we're worried about is maybe, the little mishap at the water station with Callie, but she rallied back, and she really looks strong.
Rallied back indeed. Thank you so much, Toya. We're going to send things over to the finish line now with Steve and Tony.
Oh, that's exciting. That is really exciting. Okay, we're going to get back to that in a second, but we just want to correct things on the back-to-back because it's conceivable we could see back-to-back winners on both sides this year, right?
Right. In 2016 and 2017, Lawrence Chirono and Bridget Koskai won. They came back in 2017, won again, and that's when Bridget ran 2:22.15 to set the course record on the women's side. So that's the last back-to-back champions we've had in 16 and 17. Now, James McCurdy could be an idiot out of me because it could wait. Sege, Deblano's is now supposedly perhaps coming on Yemeni. But last year, if you may recall, Yemeni had a lead over a guy named Carrio is his name. In second place was Ruben Carrio from Kenya. And Carrio came back on him in the up Diamond Head, and yet when they got into the park here for the last 600 meters, the margin held, and it was a 17-second victory. And it could be very close like that this year as well.
Okay, so we're about under 10 minutes before we get the finishers come through?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
we're down to the nut.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back. We got all the action coming up for you in just a second. You're watching the Marathon live on K5.
And that was about 2 hours ago, the start of the 2025 Honolulu Marathon. The 26.2-mile race started at 5 a.m. near Ala Moana Beach Park. It was a record-setting number of runners, over 42,000. They braved the distance in some less than favorable weather. And it's 7:07. Welcome to hour 2 of our special edition of Sunrise, your home for live coverage of the Honolulu Marathon. I'm Annalisa Burgos. Thanks for joining us. We're expecting our first finishers in just a few minutes. We did see the champions for the wheelchair races, Kota Hokinoi and Susanna Scaroni. Congratulations to them. Let's take a look now at the course records that the elite runners are chasing. On the men's side, Kenya dominates the charts with the top 10 times in the race's history. Titus Ikiru has the top time with a 2 hour, 7 minutes, 59 second record set back in 2019. Kenya also has the fastest time for the women, with Bridget Kosgei's blazing 2 hours, 22 minutes, 15 seconds in 2017's race. And that's over 5 minutes clear of second and third place, which are held by Russia's Lyubov Denisova and Lyubov Morgunova, respectively. And here's a look at this morning's course. Runners started to go in Ala Moana before heading up toward Aloha Tower. Then after a tour of downtown, the course heads through Waikiki, Kapiolani Park, and around Diamond Head. Runners will then head through Kahala before a long Hawaii Kai out and back, mostly on Kalani'anaole Highway. And that sends the route back to Diamond Head and the roaring crowds at the finish line in Kapiolani Park. And as we said, expecting our first athletes to finish in just minutes from now. And let's get to the finish line with Steve and Tony.
Real quick, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that right now because we want to talk about this finish. And just when we're saying that it might be insurmountable, here comes Sagai.
Sagai Weldabanos, who's been leading Yamane Haile Selassie in training, is now leading him at the Honolulu Marathon. He was down by 25 seconds at the 21-mile mark, and within the last 4 miles, he's made that entire gap up. Yamane has had to help a little bit. And here he is coming down.
A sizable lead.
And he's pulling free. Pulling free.
Okay, so just for perspective, how rare is this, right? Well, it looked like Yamane had a commanding lead that he wasn't going to be giving back.
Well, we'll have to talk to them afterwards.
Okay.
Sagai must have known that perhaps in training that Yamane sort of faded late in the races. But right now, Sagai Weldabanos, who is he is the current Hapalua Half Marathon champion and is the winner last year at this time. He won the California International Marathon in a course record time of 2:07:35. So he had the fastest time coming into this race, but he rallied back over these last 5 kilometers and looks great as he's just about to enter the final stretch here in Kapiolani Park.
Okay, so there might be people that are tuning in right now. They missed what we said earlier on. This is a group of 3 Eritreans that had actually come in. They know each other well. They still train. They've got a lot of in common from coming back home. But Sege, you mentioned, had the fastest time. And during training, there was kind of an alpha-beta relationship between these 2 guys.
Well, talking to James McCurdy, who's out on the men's lead vehicle during this week, he said Sagai has been the guy who's been leading the training back home. So he knew that he had the confidence of being stronger in training than Yamane, but Yamane also opened that 25-second gap, so there was like something to say on this guy's part, there was something to say on this guy's part. But at the end of the day, Sagai kept his confidence, he didn't get discouraged, and when the time came, he stopped the bleeding, sutured that wound, and then came roaring back to take the lead, and it looks like the victory.
Yeah, and McCurdy obviously knew what he was talking about. This at this point, at this late in the race, it's probably insurmountable.
No,
right?
he's pulling free, and he's looking great. I mean, his stride looks elegant.
Okay, how close are we? We're already getting messages from the PA to get ready, to give the runners space, because we're going to be seeing them anytime soon. But how about this? As much as we talked about the elements and the conditions early on, it's kind of calmed down, right? And,
we got lucky.
it's allowed for the racers and all that training to really pull through and not become a factor and overwhelm them, right?
No, exactly. The first thing I know that Dr. Barra Hall and all the officials of this Honolulu Marathon want to have is a safe day. And everyone you invite to your party, you want to be able to send home at the end of the day safely. And this kind of weather conditions is good for that. This should be a good day for the medical team here in Honolulu.
Yeah. That was the other thing that they talked about. Normally, there's a lot of worry about the heat, runners getting overwhelmed. We do see sometimes, we see the runners come down the finish line, not necessarily the elites, but the everyday man that goes out and tries to do this, maybe a little bit of collapsing. Oh, wait, hold on for a second. We do have the first runner approaching. Okay, so we talked about this being the final stretch. This is really it.
2:12:39 on the clock and counting. Is going to be slightly slower by about 1 minute than last year, but a brand new second Eritrean champion here at the Honolulu Marathon's 53rd edition, Sege Weldabanos. A 2:07:35 man is now going to add the Honolulu Marathon title to the Hapalua Half title. The first man to ever do that, I believe.
Yeah, this marathon had actually been dominated for a long time by the Kenyans and the Ethiopians. The Eritreans, in the past few years, they've really made a name for themselves.
Well, they're just as good. Meb Keflezighi, the great American former Boston and New York City Marathon champion, is Eritrean.
Oh, here we go. There is there is a large crowd and gathering in front of us, so we don't quite get to see. But actually, you have a better view at home.
The last few strides.
Oh, here it is.
But we can see in the background, Yemeni Haile Selassie is also on the final stretch.
Oh, after all that training.
2:13:39
Wow.
unofficially.
Wow.
For Sergey Weldabanos from Eritrea out of Flagstaff, Arizona.
You can only imagine the emotion that he's going through at this point. Yamani as well, as we're still waiting for him to come through. But what a race. What a tremendous back and forth. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why we do this show, because there's so much that you don't get when you just stand at the finish line and you watch somebody cross the tape. Because there really has been, just within this one race, so much gamesmanship and so much strategy.
And Yemeni
here we go.
Haile Selassie, the defending champion.
Yes.
2:14:29. I mean, he lost by 50 seconds in the final kilometer plus. So, like we said, the combination, it wasn't just Sergey Weldabanos who was coming hard. It was Yemeni Haile Selassie gave it up.
Yeah.
He faded in those final kilometers, as well as Sergey Weldabanos maintaining his pace. Not so much driving hard, but maintaining his sub-5 minute pace. And Yemeni faded a bit.
Yeah. I always am in awe of these people, these world-class runners, as they cross the finish line in a grueling race for 26.2 miles, barely catching their breath, standing back up and walking off to go greet their loved ones at the finish line.
Very efficient runners.
Yeah.
Very efficient oxygen delivery systems. This is when, if you run 100 to 115 miles a week, you too.
Yeah, it pays off.
If you've got the talent and the stamina and the determination to drive, anyone can be a marathon runner. Not everyone can be this good a marathon runner, but you too can be a marathon runner.
Okay, where are we as far as the female finishers are?
I'm looking at we're all on a mile 23. Callie in front by 6 meters. I'm getting on my last report.
Okay.
If we could go, I don't know. Eventually we'll go out to the lead vehicle.
Yeah.
So that's Callie Thackeray.
Right.
Thackeray Hogger.
From Great Britain.
Mm-hmm. And she is going to be, if she can maintain.
Actually, we're going to go over to the winner. Casey Lund is right there at the finish line. Casey, what's going on?
Yeah, man, I am just in awe of these athletes. We've got Sergey Weldabanos with us. I don't know English, second language, so I'll keep my questions very easy for you, my friend. How are you feeling?
That's good, and humidity and rain is very hard course, and up and down course. I think so for me is good, and then before New York Marathon, number 9 place, and then 1 month is and 1 week again to our Hawaii Marathon.
Yeah. You've been training in Arizona, correct?
Yeah.
And so that's a quite different climate.
Yeah, this is very hot, and the Flagstaff is too much cold.
Yeah.
And then I have to, for me, in hot training, very hard for me.
Yes.
Today is, I think so, is a good season.
Congratulations. I want to ask you one last question. Your training partner, Yemeni, behind you, what was it like? How did that help kind of push you along through this course?
Yeah, after 25, Yemeni is past 301, 302. Yemeni is small, slow, and then Yemeni is go ahead. And then after 30K, Yemeni is, you have to move. And 10 seconds, something is behind you. And then there's very hard courses. And for me, it's good, hilly.
Well, very good.
And
Brother, congratulations on winning the 2025 Honolulu Marathon. Go get your gold medal, my friend. Congratulations. What a win. Man, we have so much more here at the finish line of the Honolulu Marathon. What a wonderful morning we've got. Yemeni, his partner somewhere here, man, they just really finished with so much excitement. This is just such a beautiful end to, the former winner, Yemeni, from last year, them working together, training together, and seeing them cross the finish line almost at the same time. Just wonderful. We've got a lot more coming up right here on this special edition of Sunrise on Hawaii News Now.
So we just saw the finish. We have our male winner. We're still waiting on the females, and it looks like we have somebody really opening up a lead.
Callie Hogger-Thackeray from Great Britain, looking to be the first British women's champion in Honolulu Marathon history. She dropped out of the Paris Olympic Games last year, but then shortly thereafter set her personal best time at the Berlin Marathon at 2 hours and 21 minutes, making her the second fastest British woman in history. Now, that tells you that in October of this year, she dropped out of the Chicago Marathon at 16 miles, and shortly thereafter, she's in Honolulu. So she has a habit of having a very good finish after having a previous dropout.
Is it possible at some point in the previous race she realizes it's not her day? Maybe she'd rather save herself for something that she is capable of winning.
Yes, when you drop out at 16 miles, you haven't damaged yourself.
Right.
You know it's not your day. Maybe she went in a little dinged up, and so she dropped out at 16. As she came back a month later. We were both down in Miramar, Florida at the Flanagan's Rock and Rib Run 10K, and she ran 31 minutes and 39 seconds for 10K, which is very, very fast. Took fourth place in a four-woman kick, but it set her up very well for Honolulu. And again, she's the 2024 Honolulu Half Marathon champion. So she's used to the humidity, used to the hills, and she's got herself in fine form, and she's running right along in the lead, passing all these people heading up toward Diamond Head.
You may have noticed I was choosing my words very, very carefully because of what happened with the men's race. Right? Wait. So where are we as far as, okay, so a 10-second lead at this point, and where she is, we've still got maybe another 10 minutes to go before we have across the finish line. And you do have the defending champ right behind you.
It's exactly like the men's race, and the defending champion is now in second place. In second place now, but you could just tell by the way Callie is running right now. She's driving her arms. She's not looking back. She's pushing for all she's worth. I mean, she's not hanging on. She's driving. She's running a little bit, you would say, in fear. She's trying to discourage anyone behind her.
She took a quick glance backwards. And again, I don't want to jump to conclusions because, again, we had to eat a little crow the last time. But is it safe to say that if Cynthia was going to make a big push, it would have happened already? Or is it possible?
No, they were both making a push, and at some point Cynthia could not hold on. Now, this happened later in the race for women than it did for the men. There was enough time between the 21-mile mark and the finish for Sege to rally. But now Callie made a break 2 or 3 miles later, which means there's less time for Cynthia to rally back and try to close her down.
Again, it all goes to the gamesmanship. We're getting a little bit of a crowd here at the table. Casey came over to glance and see what was going on.
To tell you how long I've been at this, I followed Callie's dad, Carl Thackeray, back in the day. He was the 1993 silver medalist in the World Half Marathon Championship. He was the rabbit in 1985 at the Chicago Marathon, where Steve Jones came within 1 second of the world record. So, Carl, if you're watching, bless your heart.
Yes.
Your daughter's doing great work.
We've also talked about this before, but it's worth mentioning again, and you've covered the Honolulu Marathon for a very long time. Never had a winner from Great Britain on the men's or the women's side, so this is going to be history.
If she can maintain, it's going to be history. Well, think of it. Hot and humid. That's not Great Britain.
No.
Rain, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe the rainy conditions and overcast skies made her feel like it's back home, although she's a University of New Mexico graduate, and lives in Flagstaff as well with her husband and Coach Nick. So she's not back home. She's been training just like the Eritreans in Flagstaff. Flagstaff, along with Boulder, Colorado, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Mammoth Lakes, California, those are the hotbeds of American distance running.
Tony, this race itself on both sides has been amazing to watch. But just the marathon in general, we got 42,962 people, again, that are competing in either the marathon, the Merry Mile, the 10K. 35% are from Hawaii, 65% are from out of town. So that's a lot of people that have flown here. And the demographic that we've got, 25 to 35-year-olds. I mean, number one, it's great for business, right? I mean, this is sports tourism at its finest, but also it speaks to a trend, again, of running and maybe the sport growing even more than it has in past years.
People look for connections, and especially in this digital world in which we live, more often than not, we're looking at a screen rather than a face. And in running, you're looking at a human face, and you know that face has certain qualities. Runners are good people, and people want to get together with other good people, and running is a pretty good way of doing it.
Yeah, and Casey did a story, and we'll probably show it to you a little bit later, or it's on the web as well. But just the amount of running groups here in Hawaii, and for fun, for elite runners as well, it's actually fun to be a part of it.
It's a great running community. It has been for years and years.
And we got the best place for it. I mean, seriously, look around. Okay, Tony, we're going to monitor the women as they continue to come in about another less than 10 minutes. That's when we should see them coming
We're
through.
2:32, about 6-7 minutes.
Okay, so in the meantime, you take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Marathon on K5.
Welcome back to Sunrise's special live coverage of the 2025 Honolulu Marathon. We saw the first male runners cross the finish line, and we've been following the first females now fast approaching. It looks like the defending champs are not finishing first this time around. Let's get right to the finish line. Steve and Tony, some exciting news.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you, Anna. It looks less than 5 minutes away from our female finisher, and Callie looks like she's opened things up. We got about 30-second lead.
Right, the last
Cynthia.
Last message from Kyle and Toy out on the women's lead vehicle is that she looks great coming down Diamond Head, has about a 30-second lead, so she's widening that margin as the finish line nears.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit more about Callie? The thing that I find fascinating is how much you follow this and how much the people within the Honolulu Marathon know about these runners, not only their past races within the past couple of years, but also their training and what that entails.
Well, you know, this full-time, this is what they are, professional runners. She and her husband, Nick just ran a 2:11, by the way, in Berlin in September.
Yeah.
So he's her coach, and I think went to the University of Portland. But the bottom line is that Callie she's a great racer. She loves her. She was 11th at the World Championships this summer in Tokyo at the 10,000 meters. Ran 31 minutes, 37 seconds. Then she came and ran the Chicago Marathon and dropped out at 16 miles. Right. Went down to the Flanagan's Rib Run down in Miramar, Florida. Ran fourth place in 31:39, and now is coming here to the Honolulu Marathon, and she's looking like she's going to win this race, although just like with the men, Cynthia Limo,
she's pushing hard.
Two-time defending champion, is still in the same screenshot.
Okay, so this is not far from us. So
It looks closer than it really is because of the two dimensions of the television screen. But it's a bigger gap than it looks on screen.
Okay, so this is going to happen in just a couple of minutes, maybe even less than that. We got a large crowd gathered right here at the finish line, and we're ready.
So Callie, essentially, she DNF, did not finish in the Houston Marathon in January. Then she finished number 6 in Boston in April. Then she dropped out of Chicago in October, and she's going to cap her year with a victory, it seems, at the Honolulu Marathon. What a year for Callie Hogger Thackeray, 32 years of age, Great Britain out of Flagstaff.
First time ever. Right here at the Honolulu Marathon, and she's about to cross the tape. You can hear the crowd. You can see the emotion on her face.
2 hours, 30 minutes, 45 seconds. So she really picked it up in those final kilometers, because she was on 2:32 pace and finished at 2:30:45. So she really gunned it hard in those last miles, and you can see what it did to her.
Yes. And hats off to Cynthia Limo, who last year's winner, who was in this for a very long time, and she was not going to relinquish this without a fight. And she made Callie come out and put her very best towards the end.
It was a 5-woman fight, down to 4, down to 3, down to 2.
It was 7 for a long time at the very beginning.
And they had that rabbit, John Ranieri, helping him down Kalani on the highway.
And here we have Cynthia right behind her. And congratulations to her. She won 2 back-to-back last year and the year before. She was hoping to three-peat. But what a story.
2:31:36 unofficially.
What a story. What a story on both sides. Casey Lund is right there at the finish line. And I know as soon as Callie is able to catch her breath.
Yes.
You able to get in there, Casey?
You got me live here, Steve. We are going to let Callie catch her breath here. Of course, we have Cynthia just crossed the finish line just moments after Callie did. And, you know, just watching and listening to the back and forth as things were kind of going, as they're coming around Diamond Head, we were trying to see who was going to make it across the finish line first. Of course, Cynthia winning the Honolulu Marathon last year for the female division. Just such an inspiring story to have her back in. How special it is to have her back here for this event. Even though she didn't take the gold this time, what an amazing accomplishment. We are going to let Callie kind of gather herself, so we'll check in a little bit with her in a moment. While I have Jim here, Jim Bernthal, the the executive director of the Honolulu Marathon, talk to me about these competitors, especially Cynthia being back here for her second year.
Yeah, Cynthia ran an incredible race. She was a 2-time champion. Callie Thackeray is an amazing runner. She's the number 2 British runner of all time. She's an Olympian. We added her at the last minute. So, and we thought she could win the race, and she did. But obviously, it took a all-out effort.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to let her gather her breath, or unless she may be ready. I know I could talk to possibly her husband, Nick. Nick Hawker, could you talk to me? You're also not just her husband, you're her trainer as well, right? Yes, and you were in the chase truck watching her come down the line. What was that like?
I mean, it's hard to not be in the race with her. But in a way, it felt like I was right there the whole way, which was amazing. And you can't say too much, obviously, because everyone else is racing. But she executed it perfectly, and she just ran it amazingly.
As a trainer, as a husband, I imagine you're very proud.
Yes, very. And a lot of weight off the shoulders now. It's no more nerves now. Now we celebrate.
Now get a Mosada and a medal. And if you can, I might try and talk with Callie if she's up for it. Callie, can I speak with you real quick? Oh my gosh, I guess congratulations first of all. And how do you feel? I know it took a lot out of you, but you were going back and forth with Cynthia. I mean, what a competitor she is, but congratulations.
Thank you so much, yeah. When I was running with Cynthia, I was like, okay, it's getting real. She's amazing. I've seen her finish the last 2 years. And I was like, okay, amongst greatness right now, just come on, fight every second. And I just had to just fight to the end, but it was hard.
You fought, and I can't imagine, sis. So, I talked to your husband, who's your trainer. What can you say about him? He was in that chase truck. What was that like, kind of having him being right there with you in the race?
I've been really lucky in my career so far. He's paced a few of my marathons, and then he's also amazing to just be there and give me that energy. But yeah, it's definitely a team effort. So yeah, big Sorry.
Don't you be
This
sorry.
is the realness, guys. This is it.
I'm almost just as sweaty as you are, and I've been standing around here all
The
day.
most glamorous sport on earth. But here we are. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, your 2025 Honolulu Marathon winner. We've got so much more coverage still, a lot of excitement. We're waiting on our first local winner as well to come down the pipe here. We'll bring that to you right here on Sunrise. You're watching Hawaii News Now. We'll be right back.
Again with our live again here at the finish line with our good friend Tony Revis. We have our winners on both the men's and the female side. And as we're still seeing some of the elite runners come in and trickle in, it is still a competitive race at this point for a lot of people who are either competing against friends, they're competing against their personal times, they're competing against 26.2 miles.
Well, but Kama'aina champion,
yes,
top resident. Now, our understanding was Ben Payne, a lieutenant colonel at the Air Force, first year here in Honolulu, is going to be our resident champion. He was running essentially right behind our lead women. So I think Ben unofficially is our top resident, waiting for our top Kama'aina.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see how that plays out.
There are like almost 29,000 entrants in the marathon section of this weekend's racing here at the Honolulu Marathon. There's a story for every one of them.
Yeah.
Every one of them is running against their own personal goals, their own limitations. They're challenging their own limitations, and that's what you learn about this sport.
Yeah, and you saw a lot of that this week on Hawaii News Now as we aired those stories. You've covered this for a very long time, right? And we saw, again, we spoke to the uptick, 42,962. But the growth of the sport, the growth of the marathon, where is this going next, Tony?
Well, it doesn't end. I mean, it's interesting, too, because the first guy that did it, Phidippides, in 490 BC, right?
Yes.
Take the message from the plains of marathons to the city of Athens, saying that we won the battle against the Persians. But he died. He perished. When the first guy dies doing it, it's kind of a cautionary tale, and it took 2,500. It took 2,500 years for them to decide to do it again, and that happened at the inaugural Olympics of Athens of 1896. And from then, it's just continued to grow, Record numbers here in Honolulu in 2025. Expect more in 2026.
All right, so I believe we have the official times for our runners. Can we have the men and the female? If we can throw that up on the screen for you. Again, we talked this morning, and we saw so much rain. It was so incredibly windy. There's so many things. Oh my gosh, the times are going to be so horrible. But it evened out at a certain point there, Tony. Right? I mean, in the end, when the runners were trying to make their final push, Mother Nature kind of cooperated.
Well, she did. We got lucky, and the marathon gods have to smile. And they did. They have for years here in Honolulu, but it was a little bit squirrely there when we first got to the park this morning. I was drenched to the bone, and we were wondering if it was a hard, blustery wind off the water, and we were thinking this is really going to challenge these runners. And indeed, it calmed down. It had one, I think, rainy patch going out the highway for the women, but from then on, it's just been calm. The rain quit, and yet the overcast is still there, and that's going to protect the runners against themselves and the heat that builds up through running long distance.
Yeah, so we got the official times here. Tsegay had a 2 hours, 13 minutes, 41 seconds. Yamane more than a minute behind that. And we have the females that I believe we want to show you. What was really, I mean, and it's such a small thing, but normally the runners were able to be out there on the course and warm up first thing in the morning. We saw a video of them earlier. They had to warm up inside of a garage because obviously things, you didn't want them to get hurt. And I imagine a lot of them wanted to save themselves from getting too wet before the race even started.
Right. Protect yourself as long as possible. What they say in boxing, protect yourself at all times. Happens in marathon running as well. Eunice Chumba in third place to show the quality of the field. Twice finished 7th in the Olympic Games.
Wow.
So that's that she only got 3rd here in Honolulu. So 2 times number 7 at the Olympic Games, finishes 3rd here in Honolulu 2025.
Yeah, we talked about the life-changing experience, not only from the purse, but the medal itself, right? And this goes up against any medal, including Olympic medals that you'll see. Talk about it. It's worth $27,000.
Depending on the value of gold on any particular day, it could be $27,000 up to $32,000. First place here in Honolulu is $25,000. So the medal, let's say at $27,000, that's $47,000. And both our champions got the first stage bonus money for time. Sub 2:14 for men, sub 2:31 for women is worth $1,500. So a nice, healthy, near $50,000 payday for our champions here on the streets of Honolulu 2025.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we're still waiting for more of the elite runners to come through. It looks like we have our first Japanese finisher as well. But for now, I think we're going to take a quick break. I know Casey had talked to Cynthia about her second place finish. Obviously, she wasn't happy about that, but she performed so well down the stretch, and that was such a tight race.
No, both defending champions defending their titles with great honor, and gave them up grudgingly and fought right to the finish.
Okay, so I think we're going to take a quick break. No? Okay. So we have Dr. Barahal out there as well, and so we're going to wait till he comes over here. But I imagine he has to be incredibly proud and very happy with the way things turned out today.
You know, just like the runners, it's what I do today, I have to do again tomorrow. It's a continuum.
Yeah.
For Jim and Helena, Helena Barahal is the vice president of the Honolulu Marathon Association. For J.J. Johnson, the longtime race director, and all the thousands of volunteers, and all the people on the Honolulu Marathon Association. This is not just a last 2-week sprint. This is month after month after month after month, making sure that all the ice packs, which are off to our right, all the tents, all the cones, all the fencing, all the signage, I mean, all the preparations that go into staging these huge events make it seem like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's everything.
Yeah.
And it takes so many people's efforts to make this happen.
Okay, Tony, I believe we have video again of the male finish. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are kind of just tuning in with the last few minutes or maybe within the last hour. And it's worth mentioning. Look, again, if you're watching at home, you're just seeing this, you're seeing a strong finish by an incredibly talented runner. But what you're missing out on is the story that went on all the way back from the very beginning. Started off with a big pack, mostly about 4 or 5. It was the Eritreans that were in a group together, 3 of them, along with the Kenyan. Then we started to see it pull away to 2. Including our winner Tsugai, but also Yamane, our winner from last year.
He had the lead. He took the lead coming off the highway, built that lead up to 25 seconds, past 35 kilometers, near 22 miles. He had a 25-second lead. And yet, 2.5 miles later, he gave up the lead as Sege Waldebanos, his training partner, and Hapalua, half champion here in Honolulu, came back on him. Yemene faded a little bit, just enough to get Sege excited again. He found his stride, passed him on the hill, and drove home through Kapilani Park to the victory.
Yeah, and we should own up to this. We had all but written him off.
No,
we said that Yamane
but
was
he said Yamane would have to help him by fading, and he did.
Okay, so let's recap the women's side as well. Okay, because that was a bigger group for a very long time.
No.
About 7 or 8 runners, right?
All the favorites were in that pack. Cynthia Limo,
last year's winner, a 2-time winner.
Yes. Twice top 10 at the Olympic Games. Callie Hogger Thackeray was in there. So all the favorites were right there. Then slowly again, as they came near the end of the highway, one by one, they began to drop off until it was just 2. Just Cynthia and Callie. And finally, near 35K again, 21.7 miles, Callie made a move, or Cynthia dropped off, couldn't hold on, and Callie held her off all the way to the finish to a pretty large victory considering how close they were, how late in the race.
Yeah, and we're still seeing more of our runners come through, but it was, again, an amazing finish on both sides. We just kind of wanted to give you more of a sense of what that race actually was. We're going to take a quick break right now. You're watching the Honolulu Marathon right on Hawaii News Now. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Sunrise's special live coverage of the 2025 Honolulu Marathon. It was an amazing show out there. Lots of great performances out of this year's male and female elite runners. On the Dabanos of Eritrea was the first male finisher with a blazing time of 2 hours, 13 minutes, 41 seconds. He denied the bid of his fellow countryman, Yamane Haile Selassie, to repeat as champ. And Yamane finished second, about 50 seconds behind. Here's a look at the leaderboard there. Kenya's Patrick Ketter Kiplagat took third. And on the women's side, a strong push to the finish for Great Britain's Callie Hogger Thackeray. She took the women's title with a time of 2 hours, 30 minutes, 44 seconds. Last year's champ, Cynthia Limo, is this year's runner-up, and Eunice Chumba from Bahrain took third. And we're expecting our first athletes to finish in, actually coming in now. Let's get to the finish line with Steve and Tony now.
Yeah, and Jonathan Leao, who is very much connected. Nobody's more connected as far as the Hawaii runner and the Hawaii running scene than Jonathan. What are you seeing so far from the local runners, the resident runners, because they're two different categories?
Oh,
right?
Resident runners, we have Ben Payne that came in. At one point in the race, he was 7th overall at one point. He finished in about 2:34. Right now, he had a tough race. He's in medical right now, actually, but he was the first Hawaii resident. For the first female resident, right now we have in the lead Madison Fott, F-O-H-T. She's on 3:02 pace right now. As for Kama'ainas, which is the first local-born runner, Gabriel Tom, again, if he holds this lead, it'll be his third Kama'aina win in a row.
Wow.
And on the women's side, we have Big Islander, Caitlin Tateishi.
How about this? As a Hawaii, a local boy, a Hawaii runner, this being our race here in Hawaii, how much does that factor in, and how much pride do you and our athletes take in coming out here and showing up?
Very much so. I try to champion the local runners here and make sure that they get taken care of, and make sure they're aware that they've actually have a chance to win some awards here, because a lot of them don't know, like, there's a resident award, there's a local born award.
We want to give Jonathan a quick shout out. He had a big milestone this fall. Tell the folks what you did.
I had broken 3 hours in a marathon as a 6-year-old, which is my 6th decade of life that I've broken 3 hours in a marathon. I first broke it actually here as a 16-year-old running Honolulu Marathon back in 1980. I ran a 2:57 back then, and I ran a 2:59 in Chicago this year at age 61.
All right, so one more decade, or a couple more decades.
I may have calling it quits again, but if I'm feeling good in another few years, then I may put it on again.
And what is 17-time Kama'aina winner?
17 times in Honolulu.
17-time Kama'aina winner, 6 decades breaking 3 hours in a marathon. We hate him.
You know what's the funny thing is, knowing Jonathan, he wouldn't have mentioned it except that you mentioned it.
No,
that's the kind of guy that he is. Well, congratulations on that. We're going to go over to Casey, who is over there with the medals.
Yes. I just finished running the Honolulu Marathon, and I'm ready for my medal. No! What? What?
Hell no.
Heck no. These kids, the medal crew, very important job. Hey, what's your names, guys?
My name is Triton.
Triton?
My name is Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
My name is Nixon. My name is Robert. My name is Kimani.
How much fun are you guys having giving people medals as they finish this race?
Real fun.
It's pretty fun, right? It's a big accomplishment. Do you ever think you would run a marathon?
Probably.
Maybe one day. Okay. Well, we'll check back in and see when you run your Honolulu Marathon. This is such a special part. I want to actually take you inside here. Come with me. We've got the SGC medals. Now, I went to Tokyo and I got to see those gold medals, those $27,000 something solid gold medals. It's so unique. This is really a special thing that only the Honolulu Marathon does. And then being able to see the community kids here hand out those medals and give these folks their well-deserved piece of accomplishment. It really represents what they have done, all this training and stuff. And again, these medals are kept under lock and key, especially, of course, the first place winner, that solid gold medal from SGC. So a really wonderful event, and we're so grateful. The rain kind of calmed down, but as you see, we have these runners coming into the SGT tent. Now what happens after that, they go rinse off, and then they go get what? A malasada. And I have some information for you. The Honolulu Marathon had so many entries this year, more than 43,000. They had to buy extra deep fryers for the malasadas. You guys want a malasada? No, I think I might be able to get you a malasada if you work on the medal, okay? All right, guys, throw shaka and say aloha. We'll be right back. You're watching Sunrise on Hawaii News Now.
All right, well, it's been kind of a soggy start to the day with the Honolulu Marathon going on. It's still a first alert weather day through tomorrow as we continue to watch the heavy rainfall out there. I actually want to take a look at our first alert radar and satellite. You can see we've got this cell that's actually been developing over the western parts of Oahu that's going to continue moving eastward as we're going forward. Relatively dry for all the racers right now, but more rainfall is on the way over the next 30 minutes or so. This is going to continue moving eastward, showing you it's going to continue moving closer to town and then moving over to the eastern parts of Oahu. Just downstream of this, we're tracking some more showers that are developing to the southwest of Oahu that are going to continue moving up towards the northeast. And also, that flood watch is going to continue through Monday. Right now, we're expecting the heaviest rainfall to be tomorrow. We're going to see a system off to our northwest that's actually going to intensify this rainfall. You can see this is Sunday afternoon, still seeing showers over Oahu and western Maui County. Further intensification later tonight, early tomorrow morning. We're going to continue to watch it very closely as it continues to be a first alert weather day. That's it for us here in the Weather Center. Let's check in with Jelani out there on the roads.
Hey Drew, there are still hundreds of runners making their way past Kahala Mall. It's actually a pretty exciting morning, you know, seeing all of these runners make their way, and then we have spectators and cheerleaders on the sidelines. This is my first time seeing the marathon in person, and so is it for T and Alicia. Now, what brings you guys here today?
We're here to support our best friend, Naomi Kim. This is her first marathon, her full marathon.
And have you guys seen her pass already?
Yes, we did. You know, Naomi would go, so we want to just make sure we're there to support her to the finish line.
I think that's what's exciting is seeing all these really sweet and funny signs. How is it just witnessing this all and being here in person?
Honestly, I think it's pretty inspirational. I wouldn't personally run a marathon, but all these divas running, they're pushing through the halfway mark, and so it's really cool to see.
Awesome. Do you have anything to add, Alicia? What about for you?
I was just really excited to come and see Naomi, but seeing all of these people like meet their families, it gets me really emotional. So I'm excited to see everybody finish.
Emotional, definitely feeling that as well. Does this motivate you folks to maybe participate in a little marathon on time? No, you know, I'm feeling the same. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Again, there are still hundreds of runners making their way past Kahala Mall. I actually got to speak with one runner who says it was a rough start, you know, with the rain, her shoes felt heavy, but she's still pushing on and making her way past Kahala Mall. Now, reporting live from Kahala, Jelani Martinez, Hawaii News Now. Now let's take it to Steve.
Yes, all right. Thanks a lot there, Jelani. Again, we're here with Tony. We're also here with Gabe Tom, our Kama'aina winner this year. I believe the time was 2:50:55. You happy with that?
Yes, sir. Very happy with it.
Okay, so we made such a big deal at the beginning about the rain and about the wind. Did that affect you at all?
Not so much the rain, it was the humidity after. You have to really hydrate, follow a nutrition strategy. You know, if you don't hydrate and use electrolytes properly, you can start cramping really early, and that's the end of your day right there.
Yeah. What was the toughest part?
Coming up that hill, up to Triangle Park, it was just hard, grindy. Luckily, I had a good group of people around me that were pulling me along because I was dying coming up that hill.
Everyone talks about Diamond Head itself, but it's that slow incline through Kahala up through Triangle Park, which is a killer.
Yeah, it's about 1,200 meters or 3/4 of a mile. And it doesn't look like it on paper, but you're just going up and up and up until you get to that first lookout, and then you got a downhill.
Yeah. Gabe Tom, Kama'aina finisher. We should also mention Kaiser graduate,
yes,
right?
Sir.
We talked to Jonathan a little about a while ago about the pride for the local people to come out here and really represent. How much motivation do you get from that coming in every year?
It's really nice to have a home crowd and to come home and finish my year off with the home race, especially because I know so many people. So, you know, coming back along Kalaniana Ole, there's a lot of go, Gabe. And it just helps because, you know, you can be really in a bad, dark place, and then that just pulls you out of it. It keeps you going, keeps one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, racing is a good patch, bad patch. You feel great, then you feel horrible, so you don't get too high when you feel good, and you don't get too low when you feel bad, right?
Yes.
Okay. 5 marathons this year? Am I right? Was that what you said?
Yeah, this is the 5th marathon this year.
Okay, that sounds insane. Why?
So Boston in April, which we talked about last year. And then I did Eugene Marathon a week later because I wanted to get a better Boston qualifying time for 2026. And then this year I had Chicago, And then 2 weeks later, it happened to be the 50th anniversary of the Marine Corps Marathon, so we went to DC and did that one too.
Yeah, well, 2:50, 55. You improved by more than a minute this year.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Gabe. 3 in a row.
There you go.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Recover well.
Yeah, and as you saw from Jelani, this is kind of where it turns into the people's race, where now you're watching for your friends and your family, like Gabe was saying out there along Kalani on Ole, and you're starting to cheer them on. Casey's going to be talking to some of those finishers in just a little bit. He's also getting some malasadas. So, Tony, we're stuck here. Casey's going to be eating. But
Our time will come.
I'm just kidding. We didn't earn it. But hey, stay tuned with us. You're watching the Honolulu Marathon at K5. We got 1 more hour to go. We're here for you.
Taking a live look now over the finish line of the 2025 Honolulu Marathon. We celebrate all these runners now completing their 26.2-mile journey. And taking a look at the elite runners, Sige Weldibanos of Eritrea won the men's marathon with a blazing time of 2 hours, 13 minutes, 41 seconds. He denied the bid of his fellow countryman, Yamane Haile Selassie, to repeat as champ. And Yamane actually finished second, about 50 seconds behind. Kenya's Patrick Kiplagat took third. And over on the women's side, champion, Great Britain's Callie Hogger-Thackeray. She took the title with a time of 2 hours, 30 minutes, 44 seconds. Last year's champ, Cynthia Limo, is this year's runner-up. And Eunice Chumba from Bahrain took third. And mahalo again for joining us here for Hour 3 of Sunrise's special live coverage of the Honolulu Marathon. Plenty of amazing athletes out on the course, and one of the most enduring perks all the finishers will get, a shirt which announces their accomplishment to the world. Here's Mark Carpenter.
For more than 50 years, the Honolulu Marathon has been woven into the fabric of Hawaii's community. And part of that history literally is a piece of fabric that goes to the thousands upon thousands who've completed the journey. The prized finisher t-shirt.
I think the shirt itself represents a lot of what the Honolulu Marathon is about.
Each year, since the very first race in 1973, the marathon has crafted a new, unique, wearable memento.
We try to keep the colors, and we want it to be colorful, vibrant, tropical, as much as possible.
A months-long creative process that includes conceptual planning, design, and printing.
We control the designs, and it's very important to us that we respect the tradition of the event and make sure that the shirt is something that people are going to cherish forever.
A keepsake that's solely reserved for those who finish the marathon. A symbol of hard work, dedication, and perseverance.
And I think in life it's a great lesson that sometimes the most valuable things are things that you earn. I mean, it's not an expensive shirt, and again, there's nothing fancy about it, but there's only one way to get this sucker, and that's to go 26.2 miles, and I think that's why it's so valued by people.
And there are two runners with quite the collection. Gary Dill and Gerald Chun have completed every Honolulu Marathon.
Why do you continue to run in the Honolulu Marathon every year?
The t-shirt. It's very gratifying to see how important this has become and continues to be for this community and all the people that are coming here to be part of it.
And as for what this year's shirt looks like, that's not unveiled until race day. And even Barahal himself doesn't know how the final product turned out.
Once we decided on it months ago, that's it, it's gone, and no one's going to see it. So I hope it's good.
At it. That was Mark Carpenter. Thanks for that. And Stephen Toney, have you had a chance to see what the shirt looks like?
No, I haven't. It was unveiled today, but we're going to get a glimpse a little bit later. Thanks, Annalisa. Now, Tony and I are here, joined by Macy Putman, the top resident female finisher here in Hawaii. How'd you do?
It was definitely muggy today. I thought it was going to be a monsoon, so I'm happy that it's kind of clear out. There's a little bit of rain here and there, but it was nice because it kind of cooled us off. But it was fun. You know, I embraced the atmosphere this year with the fireworks going off and just enjoying like all the cheerleaders and stuff. Last year it was my first marathon last year, so definitely kind of went into like a black zone and didn't really know what was going on. So definitely this year felt a lot better, and it was super fun. Yeah.
Unofficial time 3:02:50. That's pretty good for a novice runner. You got to feel pretty good, right?
Yeah. This is my 4th marathon in total, 3rd one this year. So just happy to be back and home and represent. I'm with North Shore Run Club. I live in Haleiwa, so always be pushed by those other runners there and train with them. So shout out to North Shore Run Club. That's my community up there, and they push me every day. So.
Talk about the running community here, the island in general. The islands in general, very supportive.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a bunch of run clubs all over Oahu, and even I did Maui actually in April, and even there, I saw some of the Maui runners that I saw there here from Kauai, Big Island, Maui. The support is unwavering. They come up to me and they're like, "Oh, hey, you ran Maui," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" So it's really cool to see everyone come together. Kaka'au Run Club. There's, thank God it's Monday Run Club, Oahu Run Club, Studio 7 Run Club. Everybody comes together and supports each other. When I was running back from Hawaii Kai, I think I heard my name like maybe 100 times going the opposite direction. So it was cool. They had that support and see everyone kind of out here today pushing themselves. So yeah.
Well, Macy, for those who have never done it, maybe look in the first time and seeing this, what is it about the marathon which should draw people to it?
Yeah, I think running in general has the biggest community as a whole. Everybody's here to support you, and honestly, just whether you run a 5-hour, 8-hour, 10-hour marathon to a 3-hour marathon, everyone's just there to support you, and the energy is just incredible. It's really like no other experience. It's what keeps me coming back. Sometimes at mile 20, I'm like, why am I doing this? But then, it's hearing your name across the way, and seeing all your friends at the finish line, and just the community around is just incredible.
Yeah, and I know you said it's your 4th marathon, and you just did one back home in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
What about the conditions? How much different is it over
Yeah,
here?
it's definitely a lot different. So I started out around a similar time as I did when I was in Erie, which it was in September. It was about 55 there. Started out at the same pace, and I quickly realized that was not going to happen here. So I just tried to be smart about my pacing and make sure that I could hold on to a pace that this humidity and heat is conducive to. So definitely a lot easier to run in cooler weather. I commend people who come from Maine and Boston. I was working the expo with Hydrate Electrolytes and met a bunch of great people there. They were coming from the East Coast, Northeast Coast, and they're like, "Oh, I've been training in 32-degree weather."
The humidity hits you in the face.
And start slow.
And back off.
And drink these electrolytes.
Well, Macy, congratulations. Macy Putman.
Thank you so much.
Great job.
Hawaii resident female finisher with a time of 3:02:50, I believe that's what it was, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so we mentioned that Casey is now carbo loading. Let's go check in with him.
Hey, good evening. Good morning, Steve. Gosh, it feels like we've been here for hours because there's so much that's gone on. Of course, the race, which I guess is the whole reason that most people come here. But, you know, I'm here for...
I came from Malasadas.
That's right. This is Leilani, my friend. How was your race today? How did things go?
It was awesome. I took lots of pictures. I walked. My 80-year-old dad finished.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Can we talk to him?
Yes.
80-year-old dad, what's your name?
What's that?
Oh, he's got a mouthful of malasada. We love it.
Terrific. Enjoy the race.
There's something different. Those malasadas hit different when you run 26.2 miles.
Tastes more delicious.
You certainly earned
more
it, my
delicious.
friend. Very good. Congratulations. Enjoy. Now, I want to take you a little bit behind the scenes here while we still have some time. Because, you know, they had 43,000 entrants plus this race. And so that meant they had to bring in more malasados. So come in here with me if you can. We're going to sneak right through you here. And I want to show you kind of the belly of the beast, if you will, where the malasadas get made. Hey, everybody say hello. You're on TV. Hey. This is the malasada crew. Jim Barenthal, the race director, the Honolulu Marathon Vice President, he has told us that they had to bring in extra fryers. Sounds like we're having a little bit of an audio issue, but hopefully you can see and smell more.
Welcome back from the finish line, Caitlin Tateishi, Hilo girl, top female Kama'aina finisher. What was your time, Caitlin?
3:09:11.
All right, so congratulations. And this is your first time running the Honolulu Marathon.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was really hard. It's really hilly and humid, and it was challenging.
Yeah. Okay. So coming from the Big Island, and you said this is your 14th marathon, so you've been all over the world doing these things. But you haven't had a chance to train on this at all. So what kind of curveballs did this throw at you?
It was really hilly, and I wasn't expecting, like, when you go out on that highway, you're kind of alone a little bit. Like, there wasn't, like, a whole lot of crowds, not a lot of people cheering. Yeah, it's dark for a really long time.
Did you think you were in the hunt for the Kama'aina title?
I was hoping, but I wasn't sure. I had no idea.
No, it's hard. You don't know who your competition is. You
exactly.
So you kind of run.
I just was like focused on myself, do my own race, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah. And we've had some of the local winners talk about this too. That stretch where you do have the crowd and everybody's having your back. How much does that help with the running experience?
Oh my gosh, it helps so much. Like all the cheers really boost you up the hills and down the hills, and it makes you keep going. That's for sure.
Yeah. What about the weather? I mean, we talked about the rain and the wind. Did that affect you at all?
I thought it wouldn't because I'm from Hilo, but it was a little discouraging when I walked outside the hotel and it was pouring.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
But fortunately,
No
it got rid of that early on before the race and didn't really come back.
Yes, no, it's true. I got rid of my hat. I threw it to my husband at like mile 11, and it didn't rain after that. So
Okay, which marathons have you run, and how would this compare to those?
I've run Grandma's Marathon, Marine
Duluth,
Corps Marathon,
Washington.
I've run CIM,
California International,
I
Sacramento.
ran the 2020 Olympic Trials.
Oh wow!
Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right. Is this extra special because it's here in Hawaii?
Yes, I got teary on the starting line because running
sweet.
at home.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Caitlin, congratulations. Top female Kama'aina finisher.
Thank you.
Go enjoy the rest of the day. Are you going to do anything special now? Are you going to eat something special?
Drink everything, eat everything.
Okay.
Rest.
Well, we don't want to stand in your way of that. You go enjoy it.
You deserve
Thank
it.
you. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. All right, we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of the local people come down the finish line. But right now, we're going to head back in the studio with Annalisa.
All right, thanks, guys. Now, when it comes to gear, not much is more important to runners than their shoes. But did you know that some are actually banned for elite runners? Guy Hagi gives us a look.
A lot of people running in the marathon are using some brand new shoes. In fact, the shoe technology is getting better and better, allowing runners to have faster and faster times. But believe it or not, there are some shoes that are actually illegal. I'm hanging out at the running room. This is Gaston Lee, he's the manager here. So Gaston, some shoes are actually illegal.
Yeah, so it's gonna give you a better time. Super high, super cushion.
Yeah.
Carbon fiber plate. This is that springy plate that bounces you forward, basically.
So why call it illegal? Because it's actually helping, right?
It's helping. It's illegal for elites.
Oh, for the elites.
For
Okay.
elites,
Okay,
not
okay,
for
okay.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
So definitely, by all means, if you're looking for something that will help you out, something that's really thick, over 40 millimeters stack height,
Yeah.
with a carbon fiber plate, that's so-called illegal for the guys that are invited over
Right.
to run really fast
Right.
times. But for us average Joes like me, it's gonna help me every step of the way.
So explain how that works. I mean, how does it actually work and make it so you run faster?
Yeah, so the foam itself, it's a PIBA foam. It's super springy, super light. Compared to like the older foams, like the EVA foams, where it's spongy, it sinks in. So now this is.
So
it
you
returns
lose energy. Yeah.
So this one returns energy.
Oh.
That carbon fiber plate, I think of it like a diving board, where if you actually crank, like I can't even bend it. It's so stiff, right? But if you actually run fast and you crank it, it's gonna spring back. I would say that for a lot of average Joes, you feel it in the day after, where your recovery is a lot better on your body, a lot easier on your body.
And that's a big thing too, because the day after the race is when you feel the pain, not
Yep.
the day before.
Exactly. Like you're suffering the day of the race, you're suffering way more the day after the race.
But also with these shoes, with the technology, it comes a added price. I mean, they're markedly more expensive now.
Yes, yeah. I think we have one that's like $275, $250 on average. Our super shoe, the one with that really springy foam and the carbon plate, it's on average at least $250.
But for
Yeah.
some people, like running the race, and you can't pay enough for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, there's also probably the cardinal rule, right? Even though you got this great shoe, don't try out the shoe the day of the race, right?
Yes, don't do that. Make sure that you train with the shoes that you have. Hopefully, you've already got the super shoes a month prior at the very least, so that you can break it in and then really like smooth out the rough edges so that you know what you're expecting.
And how do you know when it's time to get a new shoe? How do you feel that? I mean, aside from starting to get injured.
I'm old school.
Yeah.
I wait till I get a small little like nicks and pains, but really people who are really meticulous about this, they'll track it by mileage.
Yeah.
So shoes usually last about 500 miles. If you're a little bit more on the sensitive side, we're talking about 300. But general rule of thumb, about 6 months or so for the average person who does their training to get to that 500-mile mark.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks a lot, Gaston.
Yeah, thank you, Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And good luck to everybody running the race.
Yeah.
Good shoes, new shoes or not. But some of us, we can use all the help we can get.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our special edition of Sunrise, our coverage from the Honolulu Marathon 2025. How are we feeling, folks? Woo! Oh my goodness, what do we got there? People are running for all kinds of reasons. Where are you visiting us from? Japan. Very good. Well, congratulations. Did you have a good race?
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. So we've been talking to people from all over the world. There's 63 countries, people coming from every corner of the globe. A lot of people here in Honolulu, some of the popularity of these run clubs, getting together and training together really has brought a lot of younger people and first-time marathoners in. I caught up with one of those run clubs, the Kaka'ako Run Club. Take a look. In preparation for the Honolulu Marathon, thousands of runners across the world and right here at home are getting in their final miles, but many aren't doing it alone. All over Honolulu, run clubs have exploded in popularity, offering training support, accountability, and a sense of community. One of the biggest,
Welcome to KRC this Tuesday.
Kaka'ako Run Club, which meets here at Waterfront Park every Tuesday night.
We used to run together. Everything kind of fell apart when COVID happened, and so we were basically like, we still want to run together, still want to train together, and so we decided, let's do Tuesdays, and started to do our own workouts, and word of mouth, Instagram, everything just kind of exploded.
Founded in the middle of the pandemic with just 5 friends, the group now regularly attracts big crowds that loop the park. From elite runners pacing 5-minute miles to beginners jogging for their very first time.
So during the pandemic, we could only have groups of 5.
Yeah.
And so we started with 5 people. And then as restrictions were eased, we added more and more people. And people would see us running around at Ala Moana and at Kaka'ako Waterfront Park and asked if they could join. And it's just slowly grown kind of organically.
As the marathon approaches, interest spikes. Some are seasonal racers, others are stepping up to the starting line for the very first time.
Found them started the year on just Instagram as Kaka'ako Rock Club. KRC. And yeah, as you said at the beginning, it's such a great community and like-minded people. It really drives you, pushes you.
That support system, the social side of it, that's what keeps people coming back, even on those weeks when motivation is low.
If I run on my own, I don't typically run as far, I don't typically run as fast, so having the support of everybody else just, it allows me to do more and helps me achieve my goals better.
Members say the friendships built here extend far beyond running.
It just gives us a great opportunity to meet other people that run similar paces, and also a bunch of us on Sundays after our long runs, we also play tennis.
And for anyone intimidated watching dozens of runners cruising through Kaka'ako, the founders say don't be.
Everyone started running from somewhere, right? So it's just getting out here, getting the miles in, whether that's just doing a little bit of walking and running, and then slowly building to more running. All paces and all abilities are welcome.
Race organizers say that sense of community is helping to fuel that record 42,000 plus runner field this year, the largest ever, and especially bringing in more young people.
It's 40% of the field are first timers, and we've had a big surge in people in their 20s wanting to come and do the marathon, and they say it's pushback against too much time online, too much time in virtual world, and people want to do something that's real, that's healthy, that's outside.
For many, it's not just about race day, it's about finding people who'll show up with you long before the starting line. In Kaka'ako, I'm Casey Lund for Hawaii News Now.
Other than that, 40
Yeah, and I'm back here at Finishers Village, and we want to say hi to our friends from Kyoto, right? How's that malasada?
4 o'clock.
Good?
4:10.
Good, okay. Good. Good job, buddy. Congratulations on finishing the race. Now, that's one of the things. So, yeah, Steve, I was not able to get a medal. You saw that. I tried. But I think I might be able to get a malasada. Oh, don't tell anybody I didn't. But I'm gonna
look at that. No, you didn't. That's okay. You being here on your Sunday, Casey, you earned it. Good for you. Good for you. Hey, if you're happy with the malasadas, if you're happy with the run, the marathon, and all, Dr. Jim Barrow deserves a little bit of the kudos for that. Your thoughts on today, which started off looking like, oh my goodness, what is Mother Nature going to throw at us? But it turned out pretty good, huh?
Oh man, 4 o'clock. And our announcer is like saying, Hawaiian sunshine here. But there's 30,000 people that aren't from Hawaii, and they're saying, what is this guy talking about? It is a deluge. But amazingly, we kind of got into a place where it wasn't raining, and we had a good, clean start, and then great racing in both the professional field. So, which was on our part very calculated. As this marathon is making this great comeback and being bigger than ever, we wanted to try to bring deeper fields and great racing back to the streets of Honolulu too.
Yeah, and we always talk about the marathon. We talk about the amount of money that it brings to Hawaii and the sports tourism, and we'll get to that in a second. But you're such a marathon junkie, and to have these elite runners,
Not like
and
Tony,
but to have,
close.
yeah, but to have it play out the way that it did, I mean, you got to be proud of that too.
Well, it's racing,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't see that many marathons where they're that close together. Both our defending champions came back and defended with honor and integrity, and they both came in second, which also shows how authentic the race is. That, you know, we don't stack this field; we bring people in that we think can win. And in fact, Callie Thackeray was brought in very late. I was approached about her. She ran Chicago, and we heard that something was a little off, and would she be able to run Honolulu? And she won our half marathon, the Hapalua, 2 years ago. So we knew how delightful she was. What a great runner she is, a British Olympian. And I said, absolutely, we want Callie. So that worked out great. She was able to close the year strong, and now we have another great champion.
Big deal that you get your first British finisher, winner.
Oh yeah, and it's huge, and she's such a delight. And she's number 2 British all time. She's a British Olympian, and she came to her position at the top of the sport late. She's a very interesting story. So all around, just a great thing.
Jim, with nearly 43,000 people, we just saw New York 59,000 finishers. And the sport is just booming and booming. About 10 years ago, it looked like it was starting to drop a little bit. And it's just, there's something about this sport. Have you been able to identify it from the local level of what is it about running and then the marathon, which just brings this new generation back to it?
It's amazing. I have a hard time. I didn't see this coming. You know, I was part of the first running boom, as were you. And, you know, we knew why we did it, for all the great things it brought us, you know, the endorphin rush, but more than that, you know, the consistency, the discipline that we know spills over into all parts of life. But it seemed like that was gone. It seemed like those lessons or whatever drove us, I think at some point we both thought we were just nuts. That all the things that we did and beat our bodies up and sacrifice, say, what were you crazy baby boomers thinking? And then out of nowhere here, after COVID, here we go again. And so obviously whatever lessons are learned from running, whatever brings to people's lives, whatever happens that one day they wake up and say, I'm going to change how I'm living. I'm going to get healthy. And there's also a huge social component to this now. But it's just really gratifying because it shows there's something enduring about it that humans want to do. And there's no question that COVID plays a big role because people were isolated during COVID in a way that really no one has ever been before. And now they want to get out, they want to be in the outdoors, and they want to meet people who also want to have healthy lifestyles. So you know when you're out in a running club, you know this much. Someone's got at least that similar interest, and there's a little app fatigue, so there's a number of factors. But hey, we're thrilled, and we love having everybody out here, and I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, number one, you were right about Tony. He's in the class all by himself, right? But number two, he mentioned 43,000, right? And 35,000 are from Hawaii. 65,000 are coming from someplace else.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me, 65%. So that's a lot of people coming in here, spending money here in Hawaii, helping our economy. This event has become such a player in what we're trying to do with that going forward, right?
Yeah, you know, it's 65% from outside of Hawaii. We are doing an economic impact study. If you look at some other big races like New York and Chicago, I would say our direct spending is going to approach $300 million. It's astronomical. But, you know, we're not really thinking about that when we do this. What we're trying to do is have a great experience for these people in every possible way that we can do it. And then that will be what fuels our growth.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because you talk about Honolulu, I think, is the 4th largest marathon in America behind New York and Chicago and Boston, but it's right in there with Boston as well. Bigger than Los Angeles, bigger than Houston and all the other ones. And yet, you name all those cities, Honolulu is by far the smallest city to host this size of marathon.
Yeah, we're definitely punching above our weight on this one, but we're drawn from all over. You know, we had 12,000 people from Japan. That's always been a big market. Okay. But we have thousands and thousands from the mainland U.S. And the age, the biggest age demographic now is age 25 to 35, and you really see it out on the course. When we're coming back on the highway with the leaders. And the people coming the other way, the speed that the leader is going at, the people that we see are all sub 4 hour and 30 minutes. These people are all running. and they're young and they're fit. So this is just amazing, and it's a transformation from what we saw a few years ago. So this is a happening thing for sure.
Well, you should be very proud of how things turned out today. Any last thoughts?
No, it's a great broadcast. I'm really appreciative for the broadcast because you have brought this race to the people of Hawaii. And realize when we first started doing this 3 or 4 years ago, most people here had never seen this race. I mean, they knew about it. They know we block the roads. We create a lot of traffic, this and that. But they hadn't actually seen it. And thanks to this incredible production and what you put into it, now that people have seen this race, and I think it's really helped us with the community. They realize it's a community event, and it's really a great thing. Not only the economic impact, it's amazing to see world-class competition. So thank you for helping bring the community together with the Honolulu Marathon.
Jim, it's our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Thanks, Jim.
See you later. Go do a victory lap.
Back in, I forget what year it was, 1 year, on Thursday before Marathon Week, Jim and I tied for the victory at the Alawai 5K.
Oh!
1983, I believe it was. 1983, we were together, and there was a 5K on the canal, and we said, if somebody else is there, it's every man for himself. But if no one else is here and it's just you and me, and we tied for the victory. So we go back a long way.
It was just yesterday, and you guys have been together ever since. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We still got more to come here at the Honolulu Marathon. You're watching Sunrise Special Edition, only on K5.
Welcome back to live coverage of the Honolulu Marathon. Congratulations again to all of the winners, racers that are out there. No one way, though, to finish that marathon, but there is a technique that may be easier on your body while improving your run time. Steve Uyehara has more.
The Run, Walk, Run method was developed by Jeff Galloway back in 1973. Galloway is a former Olympian, Vietnam veteran, and a running coach and author as well. He's a man of many hats. Jeff joins us now. Can you take us back, give us an overview of what this method is and what makes it so effective?
Well, I knew from the time I started running at 13 as an overweight kid, lazy, hated running. I know what beginners go through, and that is that they get out there, they try to run nonstop, and then the bad things come on. The two major ones are exhaustion and pain. And I went through that, but I also kept going long enough to realize that there are fantastic mental benefits, a better attitude, more energy, and the empowerment to undertake things you never would. And so with that in mind, I started working with beginners in developing a method that could take away the bad stuff and allow them to get all of the good stuff. And Run, Walk, Run is what made it happen. Basically, you run for a short amount, as short as 3 to 5 seconds of shuffling, and then you walk for 30 to 60 seconds. And by continuing to make the adjustments of going back and forth, you can gradually increase either the distance or the amount of running versus walking that you want to do. Surprisingly, Run, Walk, Run helps competitive athletes to run faster. In the Honolulu Marathon, for example, those running that distance tend to improve 13 to 15 minutes if they were running nonstop and shift to the right run, walk, run.
Yeah. Okay, Jeff, how about this? I think you get to race day, there's so much adrenaline, people are competitive. The idea, I think normally you'd go out there and just run as long as you can, then your body would give up and then you'd have to walk anyway. Why is this better than that?
Well, that's the running nonstop is the main reason why people give up running, because there's going to be a point where failure sits in. And according to the anthropologist, our ancient ancestors did not run long distance, hardly ever, because they starved to death regularly. And they did use a form of run, walk, run, according to a number of the key anthropologists. But the reason why it works is that if you take that walk break early and often, you keep erasing the fatigue buildup and you also erase the stress on weak links that cause injuries. And as you keep doing the run, walk, run, you are the one during the last third of the race that's passing people. And because you're not slowing down, your times are better. But the other advantages are you can actually enjoy the whole event, even a marathon. You can finish and enjoy the celebration afterwards.
For Hawaii News Now, I'm Steve Uehara.
All right, thanks, Steve. Good advice there. Now let's head out over to Kahala, where Billy V is amongst the crowds. No rain, so that's good, right, Billy?
No rain for now, but we are tracking it. Drew Davis and I have been in contact with each other throughout the morning, and he is tracking some moisture. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. Behind our camera is all the people that are still going outbound to Hawaii Kai. Behind me are people that are headed down towards Kahala and the finish line. I've got some people, friends here, and we also got the music bouncing too. I'm going to go ahead and go here first. What's your name? Where you from?
Kelly Perry, Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
Marissa Papa, Seattle, Washington.
Who are you here for?
Jessica Hunter, our bestie.
Okay, and this is?
Hot Girl Run.
Okay, and?
You thought it said rum, didn't you?
Okay, nice signs over here. So once again, we're showing us what we got. What do you have? Well, first of all, what's your name? Where you from?
I'm Rose. I'm from Houston, but I'm stationed out here in Hawaii.
Okay, and you are here for?
My husband, Jamal.
Okay, tell me about your sign.
So my sign says, run like you just had coffee from Starbucks with no almond milk, because he's lactose intolerant.
Ah, okay. Well, have you seen him yet?
I have not. He'll be approaching here in about 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to be here cheering him on with a sign.
She's tracking him. Okay, and you guys know where your bestie is?
We're tracking her.
Okay, there we go. This is part of the fun that's going on. People with creative signs, lots of energy, the noise, the music. There are sirens going on in the background, kind of. But anyway, once again, they are all headed to the finish line from here. Billy V, let's go ahead and I believe we're going to get you back over to Steve Uehara.
Yeah. Nope, it's me, Billy. It's me. It's okay. It's been a long day. And you send those racers down this way. They'll go say hi to Steve. They'll get their medal. Then they'll go and get their malasada and also their finisher T-shirt. As you know, we've been telling you about the lore of the finisher T-shirt. Why don't we come this way? And I'll take you inside the finisher T-shirt tent. Why don't we go in here and talk to some of these folks as well and check out one of these finisher shirts if we could. If you'll bear with me here. Congratulations. Congratulations. How do you feel?
I'm so happy.
Yeah,
good.
Congratulations. Yeah, enjoy. Let's take a look at one of these finisher shirts here. This is the shirt you can only get. As I'm grabbing this, I'm seeing all the staff here saying, hey, what's he doing with that? Because you have to finish this race in order to get one. It's another physical representation, just like the medal, that you've done this amazing accomplishment, 26.2 miles here in Honolulu. And we've been talking to people from all over the world, really. Japan, we've had friends from Kyoto, California, and all these other states that come here to this very special event. And, you know, I kind of cut out when I was in the Malasada tent. But I'll take you back over here because I wanted to make a point about the Malasadas. They had so many extra entries this year for the Honolulu Marathon that Jim Barrington told me they had to buy extra deep fryers just to accommodate all the Malasadas. That's another big reward that people get when they come here to the Finisher Village. And you can show just how much pride, joy, happiness, aloha is right here at this event. This is a celebration. For some people, their very first time, 40% of the entrants this year are first-time marathoners. And then, you know, we had so many of those elite athletes, the wheelchair folks as well, that were racing this for the very first time. Susanna, who I talked to earlier from the mainland, coming here and being able to achieve this. And it's difficult because the humidity. We talked to some of these other folks that were training in Arizona and then coming here with the humidity and the rain we had, but they fought through it and had a really good time. And this really is where people come to party, relax, stretch out, maybe figure out where they can get a massage later today because they've certainly earned it. And we appreciate you for being with us for this special marathon coverage edition of Sunrise. We are grateful to the marathon team as well for making us a part of it. You're watching Sunrise here on Hawaii News Now. We'll be right back.
Live at the finish line with Federico Rosa from Rosa Associario. He manages a number of the past champions and the runners that come to the Honolulu Marathon.
Yeah, Federico and I go back a very long time, 3 decades. Family business. His dad was one of the first coaches of Kenyan athletes and Italian champions as well. And Federico, what is it about the Honolulu Marathon? You've been coming here for 3 decades. What is it? You've seen marathons all over, all the top marathons. What is it about this marathon that makes it different?
It's a great end of the season for a very tough season. Very nice and very well organized event. A lot of friends, and it was a very good race also for the athletes to end the season, and wonderful for us to come over to Hawaii for a few days. Get great friends like Jim and John that organized these races in many, many years.
What about the prestige of this event? What can you say about that, and how important is it to the runners that you represent?
It's pretty important because it's a great tune-up for the next races. Normally we try to bring our young athletes that then they can make a big step up, like in the past Lawrence Serrano or Titus Akiru or Bridget Kosgei. And it's always good as a test for the Boston Marathon, which is a very similar course. And athletes like to come and they get very well recognized when they win this event.
No, and Federico, that's the point, that this race, so much of our sport is based on how fast you run. The world records, we're very time conscious. The weather here, the course here is not conducive to fast times, but you learn about who can race on courses like this.
Yeah, that's really important because, again, it's not a race against the time like now almost everywhere they're looking for, which is becoming a bit too much, but it's a race against yourself, as how you can race in a tough condition, in a tough course. Most of the world champions and Olympics are in this kind of condition, so it's a really great tune-up for the athletes to know themselves better.
Yeah, it's not just the athleticism, but the ability to dig deep. Federico, we appreciate the time. Have fun. Have fun. Enjoy the rest of your stay. All right.
Bye.
Right now, let's take a look at the rest of the chorus with Billy B.
Thank you very much, Steve. We are over here where people are coming and going past our camera. Hey, here's what we've got for you. I'm going to show you what we've got right now in front of me. This is right by the Aloha Island Mart service station. We've got runners that are still outbound going to Hawaii Kai, but you can see the massive runners that are coming back this way. Just from here, and this is one of the great points of this 26.2 mile course, because there are so many people out here. Some people, if you can imagine, are holding their sign waiting for one person, hoping that one person sees them out of the crowd of 42,000, that are 44,000 that are out here on the course today. And so they are out here with their energy, their voices, lending their energy, hoping that it will benefit some of these runners. Some of them are just here just to yell at the runners they don't know, just because they feel so enthused by the accomplishments of these people here today. So we are enjoying being out here in the Kahala area with this wonderful crowd, and it continues. Once again, a lot of these people, when you talk to people that were here a little bit earlier, that were representing people who were running the race for the first time. With more, Casey Lund is standing by right now. Casey.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We're still here in the Finishers Village, and this is where everybody comes to celebrate and party and really appreciate the accomplishment that they have just done. And I have a couple of those gentlemen right here. I've got Jacob Melnick with me, and Fred Chen, one of the best pediatric dentists in all of Hawaii, and a finisher. But you know what? We just had you folks on because we were talking about the Run Club, and one of the big talking points this year with the marathon, more than 43,000 entries, and 40% of them first-time runners. So we featured Kaka'ako Run Club, and you guys had first-time marathoners train with you, right?
Yes, every single week. We have new people every single week.
Yeah, always open to people with every ability and starting at every level, right?
Yeah, every pace. We have some elite runners. We also have other people that are running much slower, but they have a great time, and we're welcome everybody.
How did you guys do today, by the way?
It was great. We were right around where we were supposed to pace, so as official pacers, we're pretty happy to be able to do that today.
And celebrate, get a ball asada. You got your medal, Fred. Thank you so much for chatting with us again. Kaka'ako Run Club. They can find you online as well, right?
On Instagram, yes. Kaka'ako Run Club's our handle.
Yeah, we featured you guys. It's like it started with 5 people during the pandemic. Now you have up to like 70 people out there.
Yeah, it's like maybe 70 or 80 people every single week, and all abilities. It's a lot of fun. Good group.
Yeah, very good, guys. I might have to join you one of these days. Fred and Jacob, thank you guys. Congratulations on finishing. What a great day. Again, here at Finishers Village. This is where all the action happens after the race. The malasadas, the T-shirts. This is where people come to relax, take a breath, and enjoy what they have just accomplished. We're so grateful for them and so grateful for you joining us on this very special edition on Sunrise right here on Hawaii News Now. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Our good friend Tony Revis here has been covering the marathon since 1979?
79.
1970. I'm sure one thing you have not seen, or you did not see back in 1979, was people taking selfies and videos of themselves as they cross the finish line. But it's different. But your thoughts on just how things have exploded and the growth of this sport and the growth of this event?
Well, you know, it was big when I was here earlier, but it really happened when Dr. Barahal took over as president in 1987. The race was kind of around 10,000 and slightly under 10,000. And for the 20th anniversary, Jim had a special promotion that if you're local and you signed up by June 1st, you could enter for the first year's entry fee, $5. $5, and you got all the swag. Well, it went from 12,000 to 25,000 in 1 year, and the sponsors did not ask how you collected all these people. They just said, can we have entry to them? And that's when JAL then came on. So in 1985, JAL came on. Nike was a big sponsor back then. So it was like, in many ways, it was Jim Barahal's marketing genius which made this thing big, and he's been able to maintain it, because just like as a runner, you're only as good as your last race, as an organization, the Honolulu Marathon Association is only as good as this last Honolulu Marathon.
Yeah, and look where we are now, the growth, not only here in Hawaii, but nationally, internationally. We talk about that all the time. One of the great things about this event, too, is I think a lot of people, they've come down here, they've seen people run past, they don't get a real glimpse of the sportsmanship and the gamesmanship with these runners, and the elite runners in particular. And again, it did not disappoint today. It was fantastic to watch.
Well, just a small example. At the World Championships Marathon just a couple of months ago, there was a 2-woman race going for the gold medal. And at 35 kilometers, where our race broke up today in both genders, one woman missed her aid bottle. The other woman gave her hers. After she took some of her own, she shared it with her competitor, who well could have been just what if she didn't give it to her, maybe that would have meant the other one would have bombed.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't have been. But the sportsmanship was such that she shared the bottle.
Yeah.
That's the camaraderie that is shared within distance running.
And the way the elite runners finished, it was fantastic. We're going to have coverage of that throughout the evening as well, so make sure you watch that. It's been a privilege, Tony, and let's do it again next year. Let's do it again next year. Thanks to our crew, but let's go into the studio with Annalisa.
All right. Thank you so much to you, Steve and Tony, for the great coverage and analysis. And again, on behalf of all of our field crews out there and all the runners, congratulations to you. We're going to say goodbye. Thank you for joining us here on Honolulu Marathon. You're watching Sunrise.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more HNN content. Sponsored by King Windward Nissan in Kaneohe. Visit kingwindwardnissan.com.